Hello guys, here with a new video for the channel. I hope you like it, and if you like it, don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment, and subscribe. Now without further ado, get comfortable. Let's begin. On a planet named Vegeta, which was a planet of warriors who were in charge of the conquest of planets, a Saiyan named Kakarot had been born with the power in Zero, which was not considered or low class. However, while all this was happening, the God of Universe 7, Beerus, was very upset, because no being was able to cope with his incredible power. So at that moment, Beerus, a little disappointed, would go to sleep, while Whis was thinking about everything what happened to your God. I will take it upon myself to personally train this warrior, who is powerful enough for Beerus to no defeat. Whis, who would begin with his search throughout the immense universe, noticing a Saiyan ship which was going to planet Earth, Whis would quickly, with his great speed, reach the little one, taking him quickly to his planet, which at the time of arrival would begin to raise him. With the teachings of an apprentice to God of Destruction, after only 4 years the little Kakarot was able to master all the variants of the Super Saiyan, beginning to meditate to be able to control his internal energy and achieve this state of a god. However, it was impossible for Kakarot, who was still only a child.
Whis, I'm not able to access the state of a god. I want to cry.
Don't worry, my little Kakarot. This is normal. You are only 4 years old, and even you are much more powerful than all the survivors of your race.
Really, Whis? But I want to be so much stronger. You have told me about Mr. Beerus. I know I'm only a child, but one day I'd like to face him.
Of course you would face him, Mr. Beerus. Even I am confident that you are able to defeat him. All this power would pass through Whis' mind, while Kakarot would excitedly begin to raise his battle power, even reaching the Super Saiyan 3.
I'm excited! I'm very excited! I'm stronger than all my race!
So this would continue with the great training in which Kakarot was never able to grant a blow to Whis. However, Whis would begin to navigate about the status of a Saiyan god, realizing that he needed the power of 5 other Saiyans more. So in the whole universe of 7, it was impossible for him to get such a ritual. Kakarot, do you want an adventure in Universe 6?
Of course, Mr. Whis! If it's the first time I'll leave the planet of Mr. Beerus, I'm very excited about everything we'll do.
Whis, together with Kakarot, who was already 10 years old, they started heading towards Universe 6. At the moment, they would arrive at the planet of the Saiyans of Universe 6, who, without discomfort, accepted to perform a ritual. However, Whis would omit several points so that these Saiyans do not know anything about the God state, even erasing their memory at the time of leaving. However, when Kakarot ascended to the God state, his hair had turned to a red color. While it seemed that it had grown and thinned a little bit, Whis, along with Kakarot, would return to the planet of Beerus, who began to train said state. But after a few hours, the whole state of Kakarot would disappear, returning to normal. But in the entire internal system of Kakarot, the essence of a god had remained, and of this he would wish.
Ho! When we had to go to Universe 6 for the Saiyan God ritual, and only stayed for a few minutes. What a disappointment.
Don't worry, Kakarot. There's no evil that has come for good. The essence of a god has emerged with your internal energy, so you don't have to worry.
Excellent! I want to be as powerful as you, Whis!
That's a great goal, Kakarot. I hope in the not-so-distant future I can fight you, little. But Whis would also realize that although Kakarot had lost the state of God Saiyan, his body had been toned to a somewhat more adult body to be able to withstand the entire state of a god. Whis, without giving importance, would begin with the training of Kakarot. Being able to months of training, Kakarot be able to master his divine energy completely, being able to access the state of a god and even transform into Super Saiyan God. Kakarot, the state of a god is simply that each of his techniques, instead of carrying a normal ki, will be with a divine ki, unlike the Super Saiyan God, which will grant him regeneration, speed, and dexterity on the battlefield.
I understand, Whis. Thank you very much for each of your teachings. Without you, I could not achieve anything of what I had achieved so far.
Meanwhile, the evil Emperor Frieza was on his ship, a little pensive due to the last words of a Saiyan, which were tormenting them every day of their entire existence.
Frieza, it doesn't matter that you end my life right now. The legendary Saiyan has been born, and when he's in front of you, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Damn memories! I can't believe that the words of a dirty Saiyan make me think too much. This is unforgivable. I can't let it go. I will finish with all the remaining Saiyans.
Frieza at the moment would send of each surviving Saiyan who began to go to the planet Namek, because Frieza likewise desired immortality for fear of the legendary Super Saiyan. Instantly, they would arrive on the planet Prince Vegeta along with Raditz and Nappa, who would make a blow to the great Frieza, who without any remorse would begin to torture each of the Saiyans, who were not able to do absolutely anything.
I'll not kill you. You will witness how I, the great Frieza, will become an immortal being.
Meanwhile, on the planet of Beerus, Kakarot would feel a picket in his heart. That's right, Kakarot felt that something very bad was about to happen for someone he greatly appreciated.
Whis, I'm sorry, but I'll go to where my heart takes me. I feel that something very bad's about to happen with someone close to me.
I understand, Kakarot, but let me investigate for a moment to help you. Whis, with his staff, would investigate much faster, realizing that the last survivors of the Saiyan race were about to be eliminated by Frieza. Whis would inform all this to Kakarot, who with that information would be able to quickly get to where Frieza was in front of the Dragon Spheres. Instantly, Raditz, on the verge of death, would recognize Kakarot being identical to his father.
Kakarot? Where have you been? I've gone to the planet Earth and searched for you and I couldn't find you.
Kakarot would realize that the guy who was on the floor was his brother. Since Whis had previously informed him where his ship was really going, Frieza, at the moment of observing him, would enter into a great panic. Due to recognizing him instantly, Frieza, with the help of a Namekian, would ask for his wish quickly, obtaining eternal life.
Damn, there's nothing we can do anymore. The damn Frieza has achieved immortality.
At this moment, I'll teach you, even though you're immortal, there are ways to end beings like you. Don't make me laugh. You're a simple dirty monkey.
Frieza, without trusting himself in the same way, would accede to his last form, with which instantly he would pounce against Kakarot, giving hundreds of cuts, which Goku, just by bending down a little, was able to dodge all completely. But at that moment, Kakarot would connect a slightly blow, sending Frieza to fly, while throwing a sphere of golden energy with which it served for the trio of Saiyans to recover completely.
Doesn't make any fun for me to end up with being as pathetic as you.
Annoying, Frieza would start attacking with fists, kicks, and energy rays, and nothing was capable of destroying Kakarot's defense. Which, upon realizing that the supposed Emperor of Evil Frieza was nothing but a disappointment, decided to stretch out one of his hands in his state beyond a god.
This is one of the many ways to end the life of an immortal, since the divine energy is capable of ending immortal beings.
Kakarot, of a large energy sphere, would be able to raise Frieza in the air, disappearing it in simple atoms. Kakarot would return to observe the trio of Saiyans, who were also trembling at the instant of Raditz wanting to say something. Kakarot would disappear from the place, quickly returning to the planet of Beerus.
Wow, that was fast, Kakarot. I don't know what they call him, the Emperor of Evil. If the power he possessed was nothing out of the ordinary, he was a cockroach more.
What happens, Kakarot, that you've trained with the master of a god of destruction. That's why your power exploded in an amazing way.
You're right, Whis, but I don't plan to have contact with those Saiyans because their whole heart's pure evil, and I can't tolerate that.
Whis and Kakarot continued with their training. However, Whis, realizing that the progress of Kakarot, decided to send him to train to the dimension of his staff. From today, we will take on new training. You must be able to master the whole state of a god completely, and the control of your internal energy. Whis would absorb Kakarot with his staff, sending him to a very different dimension, in which Kakarot was not able to move, and even his body was very heavy.
What is this? I'm not able to move.
Kakarot would spend several weeks without being able to move in the slightest. However, after a while, all the energy in his body would begin to attach to the place. Each energy vein began to expand much more. At the moment, Kakarot would stop expelling power to try to move. On the contrary, he would let his internal energy guide him. By neutralizing his power, he was able to move normally. So this is the power of a god, the power that I must completely control. I know I could do it. Kakarot would start training in that place for several months, which each being in the Super Saiyan Blue. After 6 months, Whis would take Kakarot out of that dimension, being a little surprised to observe the new transformation that Kakarot had obtained. Kakarot, the power you've achieved is incredible. Thank you, Whis, I really appreciate it. At that moment, I will teach you a technique which is capable of multiplying your power. Some time ago, I taught it to Kaio, but not being able to learn it, I created his. To multiply my power? I want to learn it. I want to achieve it. I will teach it to you in case you are in case of death or life, since this technique has no effects on the body. What do you mean? What's the side effects of this technique? The technique is called Hyper Kaio-ken, but if you use it for more than 48 hours, your soul is affected in an incredible way, and not even the Super Dragon Balls will be able to bring you back to life. I understand, Whis, but I still want to learn it. If on some occasion an extremely powerful warrior corners me, I plan to use it. I prefer to die with it. That's what a true warrior would say then, Kakarot. I hope you're prepared to endure the training of the Hyper Kaio-ken. Whis would begin with the teachings of the Hyper Kaio-ken, which at the beginning were capable of even making Kakarot scream for all the pain he suffered in the training. However, every time Whis was about to stop, Kakarot refused. He wanted to take his body to the limit. At the end of each training, Kakarot was in his base state and on the verge of death. The physique it takes to maintain this technique must be amazing. This hurts too much. I feel like every part of my body is tearing. After spending about 2 months of suffering for Kakarot, he was able to master the technique completely. Kakarot, I'm very proud of you. You've been able to master the Hyper Kaio-ken, a technique just as complex as the Ultra Instinct. I don't know what the Ultra Instinct is, but if I'm able to master the Hyper Kaio-ken, I'm sure I'll be able to master that technique. Kakarot, with a lot of enthusiasm, will activate the Kaio-ken in his blue god state, which at the moment of activating it, he would feel how his power had increased in an incredible way. This power is amazing! I can't believe all the power running through my body! Kakarot would take his body to the limit, realizing that so much power was capable of supporting his entire body. The power that Kakarot had obtained in that short period of time had been incredible, and when combined with the Kaio-ken, his power had skyrocketed in an incredible way. So much was his power on this occasion that he was even able to attract the attention of Beerus, the god of destruction of the entire Universe 7.
What's all this fuss? Whis, but who is he?
Oh, Mr. Beerus, I ask you an apology, and answering your other question, he's a Saiyan, and his name is Kakarot. Knowing that you constantly get bored, decided to train him.
So train him. Do you think this simple mortal's capable of doing something to me?
Mr. Beerus, don't underestimate him, because he can end up in terrible conditions his power is. Whis was not able to finish his sentence because at that precise moment, Beerus had thrown himself against Kakarot who, when observing him in front of him, by intuition was able to cover himself with an incredible blow, but the power was so much that he would even send him flying to a few mountains, destroying them completely.
Is that really all the power of that Saiyan? I didn't even use 45% of all my power, and apparently he was defeated.
At that moment, that Beerus was about to retire, a great rumble would be felt from that crater where Kakarot had been sent to fly. At that moment, Kakarot, of a great speed, would begin to exchange blows with Beerus, who would be a little surprised to realize how that Saiyan was able to keep up with him. Beerus, at that moment, would be hit by a great blow, which would make him fall sharply to the planet. The fact that you're on this planet gives me to understand that you're the powerful Beerus, that being that Whis talked to me so much. But I don't care if you're a god, I won't let you humble me like that. Beerus would recover from the blow and come out of that crater very confident.
The blow you gave me was powerful, but it wasn't powerful enough to make me bleed. You still need a lot more power.
Beerus, at that moment of finishing his sentence, was able to give him a big blow to the stomach, which Kakarot would spit out large amounts of blood due to all the damage he had caused. Kakarot, despite being used the Hyper Kaio-ken, would feel overshadowed by Beerus. Apparently, I'll have to use all my power, the power with which I wanted to perfect her to beat Whis.
Were you underestimating me? If you have more power, it'd be better to release it right now.
Otherwise, I'll end your pathetic life. Instantly, from a great light, you could feel an incredible heat as well as a great pressure all over the planet of Beerus. What is Kakarot doing? But he must intervene because otherwise the universe would be affected. Whis, with his great power, he would use a magnetic field on the entire planet of Beerus, with which he was able to protect the entire Universe 7, while Kakarot would appear with a totally distant appearance, since this time all his hair was a black color, while his eyes were an imposing silver color. What is that? I feel as if the pressure to a higher being crushed me, but this must not be happening. This damn guy is a simple Saiyan. Beerus, at that moment of attacking him, he would be received by the strongest blow he had ever received, feeling like his life was completely taken away. Ermi, damn! Where the hell did you get so much power from? Kakarot, without any expression, would begin to approach Beerus, which at that moment he would release all his power. That's right, the power of Super Beerus. That's right, Beerus was releasing 100% of all his power, something he had never done. Because being considered a prodigy, I never needed to use all his ability, and he had been able to fight against the 11 gods at once, being able to win the victory. But against Kakarot, it was totally different, since the powers despise not feeling it did not allow him to move freely. I admit you're very powerful, but I did not think that Whis trained you in an excellent way. But I doubt you'll be able to cope with 100% of all my power. Beerus' power had been insane, as the barrier that even Whis had placed was starting to crack. This is amazing! I do not think that the power of Mr. Beerus is capable of reaching this limit. However, Whis would instantly remember the words that his father Daishinkan-sama had said back to him.
My son, you as the prodigal angel will be the guardian and teacher of Beerus, the god of the Universe 7.
Father, I'll do whatever you ask, but in the short time I've spent with Mr. Beerus, he doesn't do anything for training, he just sleeps.
I know the descent of Beerus, and I know that he's a very powerful being, so we must have the best guardian and the best teacher, so that he knows how to distinguish between good and evil, because if he's guided by the path of evil, it'll be a sea of blood.
So that's why my father asked me to be the guardian of Lord Beerus. I've never seen him use 100% of all his power. Even against all the gods, I only use 52%. Apparently, Kakarot's power is incredible. At that moment of a great explosion all over the place of purple energy, one could observe Beerus, which apparently had not changed so much, but moved at an incredible speed towards Kakarot, which despite the incredible speed of Beerus, was able to dodge his blow, which would annoy Beerus much more. But the instant Kakarot attacked him, Beerus was still able to dodge each of his blows. Flickering divine light! A big light would leave Kakarot without vision, which Beerus would take advantage of to connect several blows to him. But to his surprise, Kakarot had been able to dodge each one of them, and would connect the first blow on Beerus, having no result. Doesn't matter that you leave me without vision, that won't do you any good. Since the Ultra Instinct is the state of one's body, I don't need this sight. Whis would be very surprised to realize how Kakarot had been able to access the Ultra Instinct without his help. But Beerus, without holding back in the slightest, would begin to attack Kakarot, which with the passage of the battle his power was wearing out, of which both deities would notice.
Your incredible power is starting to leave you. Apparently you still haven't mastered it in its entirety of the Ultra Instinct, but I must give you credit, since no god's been able to activate it to that level you possess it.
Kakarot at the moment would be knocked down with a great blow to the ground, with which Beerus had been able to inject some destructive energy into Kakarot's inner base, which accelerated the duration of the Ultra Instinct. Damn! For a god of destruction, you're very smart, but I'm not gonna give up so easily. Kakarot would begin to channel the maximum power throughout his body, with which he was becoming a Saiyan bomb. However, the only one who would realize all this would be Whis, since for Beerus, he was only raising all his remaining power. At that precise moment, Kakarot, as if it were a flash, was even able to disappear from reality itself, appearing behind Beerus, which would instantly hold him tightly. Beerus, realizing Kakarot's intention, would use all his power to break free from that furtive grip. Ha ha ha! Too late, Beerus. We won't die, but I'll show you that even though I'm immortal, you don't have the right to treat me like I'm trash. Big explosion would be observed all over the planet of Beerus, which in an instant he was feeling as his whole body was torn. That's right, the incredible power of Kakarot had been able to leave Beerus on the verge of death, because instantly Kakarot would fall to the ground very badly injured and on the verge of death, while Beerus had wounds all over his body, while large amounts of blood came out of his mouth.
Saiyan, you're a genius. I must recognize you as the most powerful being that I, the super god Beerus, had faced. You have all my respect.
Beerus would likewise be knocked out of combat, and at the moment, Whis would approach both, restoring all his wounds and recovering all his power. However, from the shadows, an opposing warrior was watching everything that had happened.
So, after millions of years, that damn Saiyan race still exists. I cannot allow to be born against a Saiyan like Yamoshi bastard was.
Meanwhile, in the kingdom of the All, Daishinkan was together with his king, but instantly a bloody sensation would be felt all over the place, to which even the guardians of Zeno-sama would become alert.
Who are you? How is it possible that you emanate all this negativity?
Don't you remember me, priest? I was the first commander of the underworld troops, and known for his first fallen angel.
This isn't possible, but if you're Byakuya, my firstborn, the most destructive angel who has ever succeeded, but your heart was corrupted by the desire for absolute evil.
I'm here to inform you that I've returned, so you better prepare an entire army, since I'm not planning to leave anything of the divine realm alive.
Byakuya, even though you're considered a prodigy, you are not able to face me. I'm much more powerful than you.
We need to check that, father.
All the murderous essence would disappear from the place, but Daishinkan was very worried, giving notice to all the gods and angels of the incredible problem that was approaching all the 12 universes.
Gods and angels, in case you meet Byakuya, inform everyone else, because in a one-on-one battle you have no chance. Byakuya is your older brother, the most powerful angel, and even above the power of...
Returning to the planet of Beerus, Kakarot would wake up with a severe headache.
My head hurts a lot. What happened? How long have I been unconscious?
Kakarot would change his expression to a much more serious one, realizing how the deities of Universe 7 were very serious and thoughtful.
Has something bad happened?
Kakarot, apparently a very powerful being, has returned after so many millions of years, and he has returned in order to destroy every divine being.
You're wrong, Whis. I've returned to destroy everything created by the divine world.
The incredible planet of Beerus began to be destroyed while both deities went into an incredible panic, not even able to breathe due to the incredible pressure. However, from Kakarot's body, a very strange energy began to emanate from it, which did not allow a star-level Saiyan to kneel before Byakuya. That's why Kakarot was the last descendant of the powerful Yamoshi, which had even been able to make all the gods tremble together. Due to the bestial and overwhelming power he possessed, Byakuya, upon realizing, as the power of that Saiyan began to grow in an incredible way, and would recognize part of the power of Yamoshi, would quickly approach to stop the rise of Kakarot's power. However, the incredible power of Beerus would be put in front of Kakarot and likewise Whis. The power of Kakarot releases right now is even comparable to the A-level priest rank, and if you came to get rid of Kakarot first, it must be for something very important.
Don't meddle in my affairs, demon of darkness.
At the first moment, a large, dark-colored being would begin to fight with both deities, which were not able to move freely due to the pressure of Byakuya. But at the moment to approach Kakarot, a blow from a power from another world would send him flying to a planet, which even the planet would explode upon simple contact.
So this is the power of the Super Saiyan Primal. What a power for more amazing. I swear I'll honor your power and offspring, Yamoshi.
Kakarot would begin to accumulate all his power, as far as his body could resist, because the power of the Saiyan Primal seemed to have no kaimite at all, while several roars would shake all the 12 universes. The incredible power of Kakarot in his primal transformation was incredible. It seemed as if he, even a king at all, was in front of it. Byakuya at the moment would stand in front of Kakarot, showing his true appearance, which was that of a tall, blonde, and very muscular warrior, which only with his presence was able to make any warrior bend. But this did not happen with Kakarot.
For a simple Saiyan who has not yet reached his full development, you have a power even greater than Yamoshi's. I've had good teachers, and I've never given up, and this will not be the exception. I plan to end your legacy. And my legacy? That's impossible, because if you're lucky enough to defeat me, there are many more warriors who wish to end Yamoshi's offspring. I want to see if they can do it, so it's time to start fighting.
Kakarot would be the first to launch the attack, which would be reciprocated by Byakuya, who at that moment began to exchange hundreds of blows. However, Kakarot would realize how Beerus and Whis were not able to withstand all that incredible battle. So at the moment, he would be able to grant a powerful blow to Byakuya, moving quickly towards the deities, but Byakuya, with his great perception, was able to take Kakarot's legs, throwing him to the other extreme.
Damn! I'll not allow my teacher to die in this place! Cell division! Kakarot Evil God!
From the primal Kakarot's body, the Kakarot with pure negative energy was detached, which had red hair while Kakarot and Byakuya faced each other. The negative Kakarot would quickly approach the other deities.
I'll send you to the kingdom of the all. Don't worry about me. I'll end this battle. I have the power beyond a god.
Both deities would be sent to the kingdom of the whole at an incredible speed, but at this time Kakarot had received several gravity blows, because by using cell division his power was divided into two, which was not recommended if his opponent was more powerful. At the moment, both warriors would quickly form a single warrior again. Kakarot would be able to cover himself with a large sphere of energy, which if it reached him, would be able to cause great damage.
That attack was dangerous. I have to fight seriously because that bastard's trying to end my life.
Today, only one of the two will be able to get out of this universe alive, and I think it'll be me.
Byakuya, with an even greater speed, was able to grant a great blow to Kakarot's stomach, which at the moment large amounts of blood would come out of his mouth.
Damn worm, you think I'm lacking the hands to hit you back?
Kakarot with much higher power was able to pass through Byakuya, which would feel like his life was taken away, due to the great damage he had received.
Damn, I never thought I'd have to wear this with you. Heavenly armor, divine protection!
Byakuya's entire body would be protected by an incredible golden armor, which at the moment of Kakarot hitting a blow would not be able to cause any scratches. Kakarot would use all his power and grant several blows on all of Byakuya's armor, having no result. On the contrary, his fists were bloodied.
Damn, my fists hurt when I hit him. What the hell is that armor made of?
No matter what you do, this armor will be able to repel all your blows, since you don't have the necessary power to destroy it.
As far as I could tell, when I hit it, all the impact was distributed. But what would happen if I hit it at the same point?
Kakarot would begin to attack at the same point, which at the moment the armor would be cracked a little. Byakuya, realizing this, would be surprised, and without trusting himself would begin to defend in the same way. Meanwhile, in the kingdom of the whole, Beerus and Whis had arrived.
Whis and Beerus, what had happened? There's no call from the gods, so if they are in this place, it's due to something very important.
Daishinken-sama, Byakuya would appear in our universe, but we weren't able to inform him since he seals the whole universe.
If I seal the entire universe, how the hell were they able to escape from that place?
Kakarot, a Saiyan whom I trained since birth, gave us the perfect break for us to escape.
Listen well. Did you say a Saiyan stayed fighting against Byakuya?
So his father. From what I could observe and listen, he was able to access a transformation called the Primal Saiyan. Daishinken at the moment would be filled with an incredible terror, while his whole body began to tremble at the knowledge of the name of the transformation. Father, what's the matter with you? Did I say something wrong?
Millions of years ago, the great priest, was completely humiliated before Yamoshi, and his transformation called Legendary Saiyan Primal. The power that Yamoshi possessed in that transformation had no limit. I never had a chance against him, but despite that, he reduced his power to have an even battle with me. So I can't believe what you're telling me. I was able to hear that Kakarot's the offspring of Yamoshi. In that case, that Saiyan named Kakarot is the key to end this whole battle, because if his power is as great as Yamoshi's, he can put them at bay.
Returning to the battlefield, Kakarot's power would begin to decrease drastically, because his entire body and internal energy was not used to the power beyond a god, much less the power of the Saiyan Primal, which Byakuya would not hesitate. While Kakarot was massacred by Byakuya, in his mind, he was able to observe Yamoshi.
Kakarot, You have the potential to even surpass me, but it's not the time, since you're still very young and sometimes we have to know when we should retire.
Kakarot, while being beaten, would communicate with Yamoshi. No, Yamoshi! I don't want to let this damn war make fun of me.
Kakarot, in case you win this battle, you will be stalked by a much more powerful being. I trust you and I know that you will make the right decision.
Byakuya, you're an incredibly, extremely powerful being, but I'm not afraid that I'm not at maximum capacity right now, so we'll have to postpone our battle.
Cursed mortal. Now that you know that you're the offspring of Yamoshi, don't even think that I'll leave you alive. I intend to end you this very instant.
Byakuya, with a magnificent speed, was about to hold Kakarot by the face, but Kakarot, with the three-dimensional technique, was able to be enveloped in a capsule of his own energy, with which he was able to reach the Kingdom of the Whole, realizing because at the moment of arrival, an incredible crater would be created, and Kakarot would be observed with terrible wounds. But the most affected were the energy veins, which seemed to explode.
Seriously, this mortal has the necessary power to save us, because if we were Yamoshi's offspring, we wouldn't have a chance.
My little Kakarot, I'll heal all your wounds together with my father. Instantly, Zeno-sama, along with his guardians, would leave the palace because they heard such a rumble. Zeno-sama would be a little surprised to notice a mortal. Dai, tell me what's going on. What was the big tremor you felt a few minutes ago?
My lord, the tremor that was felt a moment ago was the Saiyan, which with its great power was able to reach our planet.
Zeno-sama, understanding absolutely nothing, but at that moment, in all the universes, an opposing warrior would present, but it was only his aura and essence.
After so many millions of years, the last offspring of Yamoshi has appeared. We think to end the whole divine world, but in case they gave us that mortal, we'll do absolutely nothing.
The essence would disappear from the 12 universes, but all the planets began to tremble due to the power, while Zeno-sama's gaze would change to a much more serious. That guy was Meon, the dimensional king of infinity.
This is impossible, Zeno-sama. Meon would never go down to these universes, since the level of power is too poor compared to his universe omnipresent level.
It's said that the legendary Yamoshi was able to be born as the weakest mortal, but was also able to access the highest divine territory.
So that is why they want all their offspring to perish.
King of all, Zeno-sama, we cannot accept, since if Yamoshi's offspring dies, all of us will be his slaves. Whis is right. No matter what we do, we will protect Kakarot, even with our lives, so that he'll be able to reach his maximum power. Meanwhile, the entire internal system of Kakarot was in a terrible state. Despite being healed by the Great Priest, this was not enough to recover the incredible damage of the primal Super Saiyan.
Apparently, you'll have the joy of feeling the power of the most powerful god that has ever existed. The essence of the priest will not be enough.
The essence of Yamoshi inside would release a little of his power, with which he was able to completely stabilize all his internal energy. That's right, the entire Kakarot system would begin to regenerate at an incredible speed, with a much higher power. Meanwhile, on the planet of Beerus, Byakuya, he was very badly injured, since Kakarot's blows had likewise been overwhelming.
Hell, I don't know how I was able to stay at his level, but now I'm not able to move anymore. Damn, I'll die in this place.
But at that moment, a large portal would be created all over the place, from which a crimson-haired warrior, a bit similar to Byakuya, would emerge.
Well, brother. Apparently you've been beaten up. Brother, please help me. I'm not able to move. I can't do anything. Well, of course, brother, don't worry. Right this very instant, you'll become a part of me, so you won't be a damn nuisance.
Byakuya, sensing as the murderous essence of his brother, would try to flee, but it was impossible for him, as he would be dragged to the ground by such incredible power.
You're a fucking bastard. We're family, and you're planning to end me. I never thought you'd be this kind of scum. You don't have to be surprised. Who do you think ended our sister's life? I, unlike you, am not able to cultivate my power, but I am able to absorb it. You worm, you're giving me to understand that your miserable bastard absorbed our dear sister. Ha ha ha! That's right. I cannot deny that his energy was so great that I had to be on rest for 3 months, because if I didn't, I could explode.
Byakuya would try to pounce against his brother, but it was impossible for him. The great pressure, he would crush him as if he were a simple ant. Don't worry, I'll finish the job so you weren't able to do, because otherwise our father will finish us. Kimuro would begin to absorb all the vital energy and the power of his brother. However, Byakuya would try to cause an explosion of all his power. But this was impossible for him since he had been paralyzed by his brother's murderous intention.
It's time to end your life, you scum.
Kimuro, stealing every drop of his energy, would throw him a great power, with which he was able to reduce him to simple atoms. In the kingdom of the whole, those present were surprised to realize how Kimuro had ended his brother's life.
Those bastards are heartless. We have enough power to finish these bastards, because if we don't, they'll finish us. That's right, I doubt Megun will keep his word, because if they're able to end his family's life, we, who are nothing to them, will be their slaves or energy food.
Father, I totally trust Kakarot. I know that he will have the necessary power to defeat these new villains. In the entire realm of the All, an incredible power would be perceived all over the place. While various catastrophes and anomalies were forming around everything, that's right, Kakarot had been completely healed. But not being used to Yamoshi's power, his body was coupling all that new power to his internal sea of energy, with which he made all the 12 universes tremble. Even Kimuro and Megun felt such incredible power. The incredible power that Kakarot was giving off was unreal, because everything around him was starting to shake, and even it made Daishinken panic.
What is this? It's impossible! How's a Saiyan body able to withstand all the brutal power? Its essence reminds me of the power that Yamoshi used to release.
Kakarot, of a loud roar, would shake all the 12 universes, was able to calm all his power while physically nothing had changed. Since he was still in the transformation of the Primal Super Saiyan, but the power to differentiate was an unreal thing, since with all that power, he was able to even defeat Daishinken with just one of his hands. This power is amazing, but I have to completely master it. The essence of the divine god Yamoshi's crushing it. Dear Kakarot, is it really you? Has nothing changed in you? Of course not, Whis. I'm still the same. I came to your planet, and you collected teaching me everything I know so far. I consider you my father. Kakarot, the future of all of us is in your hands, because if you're not able to defeat these warriors, nothing and no one will be able to achieve it. You're right, Whis, but I alone will not be able to defeat them. I need the help of my master and the first Saiyan god.
That's impossible. Are you referring to Yamoshi?
That's right. Nothing's impossible. And with this power together with the protagonist god Zalma, I know we'll be able to achieve it. So let's do it! Kakarot would begin to channel a large part of all his power in the center of the universe, so at the moment, giving a great roar, he was able to open a space-time crack from which an incredible pressure was felt from within. So much was the pressure that he was even able to make everyone present kneel, including Daishinken.
What the hell is this? I'm not able to move, nor does Zeno-sama release all his pressure. Is he another king at all? Who has been able to open my dimension? That must be impossible for beings of such low power.
It was me! I did it because I need your help to bring a super warrior to life, because the super Dragon Balls don't have the necessary power.
But you are a Saiyan. Who have you believed to invade my dimension? I don't care if you are accompanied by the angels and the priest. At this moment, I will finish with all of you.
Zalma at a great speed would throw himself against Kakarot, but they were surprised since no one except Kakarot were able to see the blow. Kakarot, despite observing the fist of Zalma, was not fast enough to dodge it, so he would be able to send to fly to a planet and on impact would destroy completely.
Inverted gravitation!
Zalma would expel an inverted gravity from her own body, which would begin to attract Kakarot all the same. I'm not gonna stand by idly, mythical blow of the dragon. A great dragon, which expelled an incredible power, would be thrown towards Zalma, which some difficulty was able to completely destroy it. Everyone present was surprised because the difference in powers was noticeable.
This is a terrible idea. We should have never done it. The power of the creator of the Super Dragon Balls is on another level.
Zalma, as he approached Kakarot, all the planets were shaking. Kakarot, despite knowing that he had no choice, he stood up again and again, so at that moment, from a great attack, he was able to make him spit some blood. But the creator of the Super Dragon Balls, instead of getting upset, would give a big laugh.
Ha 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 ha! How interesting this is. I don't remember the last time a guy was able to make me bleed. I only think Yamoshi had managed it.
Yamoshi! He's my ancestor, and he's the only one I wish you to bring to life. Otherwise, everything will be destroyed. Kakarot, at that moment, he had used all his power, for which he would fall out of combat, being held by Zama, who would heal all his wounds.
My good battle friend Yamoshi, you would have started from there. I thought you were just another warrior who desired the power beyond a creator god.
Zama would diminish all her protagonist essence, allowing all the warriors around her to be able to move, for which Daishoken would approach somewhat nervously.
Great God had created the Super Dragon Balls. For me, it's the greatest privilege to have him in front of me. I hope you'll excuse any disrespect towards you. Don't worry. I had no idea that this Saiyan is a descendant of my good friend Yamoshi. He was the only one who was able to almost defeat me.
Were you able to cope with the protagonist energy that you possess?
That's right. Remember, priest, despite being born with great power, you will never have the level of learning of the Saiyans. And if a Saiyan strives every day to be better, he will be like Yamoshi, who is able to break all his limits.
Daishoken would be very surprised by the words of his creator, but at the moment, Zeno-sama would appear along with both of his guardians, who in the same way were also very surprised to hear the exploits of the incredible Zama. Oh, mighty Zama, tell us, what's the reason you visit our multiverse?
To be exact, the Saiyan was the one who woke me up from the protagonist dimension. But don't worry, I understand what you're going through, so I will help you without problem.
Meanwhile, in a very distant place, Meon, along with Kimuro, were both very thoughtful because Meon, in the same way, had existed in the same time as the mighty Zama. Damn, this is getting more and more complicated. The power of that damn Zama is still as powerful as it was millions of years ago. But, my lord, do you think you have the necessary power to defeat that warrior? To be honest, I don't know, Kimuro. The power that Zama possesses is incredible. The only one who was able to face him was Yamoshi. I was on the verge of death in every fight he had against that unhappy. But, my lord, in that case, what shall we do? Don't worry, we have only to worry about that Saiyan, since Zama, being a protagonist, cannot intervene in the world of multiversal beings. Meanwhile, Kakarot would recover completely, so the instant he woke up, he would watch as all of his other friends, they were training together with Zama, even the king of all, Zeno-sama. Kakarot would give a big smile, so at that instant, he would access the Ultra Instinct, joining the Great Training, but despite attacking them all at once, they were not able to make any scratches. Zama would end that training. He would begin to collect a large part of all his power.
I, the protagonist god, bring back to life the mighty god Yamoshi, the first legendary primal Saiyan.
So it was, at that instant, a great rumble would be felt all over the place, which would cause that everything around him be destroyed. All this power was perceived by Meon, who quickly recognized it. So this is that brat's plan. I swear I'll crush both scumbags. I don't care if I have to die. I'll end everything they love. But, my lord, if you die, we'll not be able to rule since you're the main king of this whole pathetic multiverse. I'm Meon, the first Demon King, to reach the creator rank. I'll grant you the privilege that you, my faithful helper, are able to bring me to life. It's a very big responsibility, but I'll never fail you. Both supreme demons began to charge their maximum power, trying to attract the attention of the divine beings. But none of these would come to their call because Yamoshi realized that all this would be a trap.
It's time, Kakarot. As the enemy apparently plans to use a curse technique as the energy he releases is incredibly negative.
I trust you, Master, because thanks to you, we'll be able to overcome anything that comes our way. This was how both Saiyan's primal god level were able to break their limits on each occasion, while both demons were not able to perform their task, for which Meon was furious. I don't mind exploding. I plan to end the whole divine world with an explosion of all my power, so I hope everyone's prepared. Meon began to collect an incredible power, which belonged to the souls of all the other warriors from hundreds of years ago, which fell against Yamoshi's hands. Megun's power began to skyrocket, and Yamoshi would notice this.
This is bad. The power of one of the demons was rising in an incomprehensible way. It'd be better to do something right now before it's too late.
I finally agree with you. I don't want those wretches to become more powerful when we can finish them off right this instant. Kakarot, please be careful. I know that your power compared to mine is like heaven and earth, but I will not stop worrying about you. You don't have to worry, Whis. I promise to put an end to these garbage once and for all. Yamoshi along with Kakarot began to fly at incredible speeds, which distorted everything in their path. But in the same way, the power that Meon gave off was a really catastrophic thing to turn the 12 universes upside down. Before reaching where Meon was, he would be stopped by a warrior who had the appearance of a mutated demon.
Damn Saiyans, it's not time for you to be in this place. So right now, we're thinking to finish with you.
That demon, named Ryon, launched himself against both Saiyans, but Yamoshi of a great tread would release a surprising pressure, of which he didn't allow Ryon to be able to move freely.
You're a simple servant, and I don't have time to spend with you, so I'll finish with you right this instant.
Yamoshi, of a great attack, was able not to leave even Ryon dust, both great with their great journey, destroying the main entrance in which both of the most powerful demons were.
I'll not allow them to interfere in the elevation of my king. I intend to give my life for the being to whom I owe everything I've learned.
Kimuro began to raise his power in an extremely incredible way. So much was the increase in his power that he even caused several disasters where he was. Kakarot at the time would access the Ultra Instinct when he didn't feel a great power from Kimuro, but he would be very surprised to realize that the power he possessed was even capable of tripling, since Kimuro, realizing Kakarot's trust, was the one he first attacked. Kakarot, despite possessing the Ultra Institute, was not able to do anything against Kimuro, who had dealt him a powerful blow. Making him spit large amounts of blood, Yamoshi would try to land a punch on Kimuro, but his punch was stopped. I don't compare myself to the power of the king that possesses, but thanks to the power of my brother's bastard, I'm able to stand up to you, so I'm not gonna die in this place. The two began to exchange hundreds of blows while Kakarot was on the ground spitting out too much blood. Damn it! Yamoshi was right. Even though I have a great power, I don't have to trust myself. The blow he gave me was serious. Kakarot would hit several vital points of his entire body, with which he began to make his heart rhythm normalize. Kakarot, without trusting himself on this occasion, he would access the Super Primal Saiyan, which released an abysmal power. But he was surprised. At the moment, he agreed to the most powerful transformation and looked like a simple ant before the incredible aura of Meon. That miserable demon's even absorbing the power of demons from various timelines. Kakarot would throw his most powerful attack, but he was shocked realizing that his power had not been able to do absolutely anything to him. Meon, after assimilating all that power, was able to teleport behind Kakarot, giving him a small blow on his neck, which he managed to return to his base state. How easy it has been. Kimuro, I appreciate your loyalty. You can come to my side. Yamoshi, before Kimuro leaves, would try to end his life, but Meon would stand by him. I have said that Kimuro will be protected by me, so stay still. Meon released a little of his power, with which he was made the powerful god Yamoshi fall to his knees, which furious would begin to release his legendary power, leaving everyone except surprised for Meon. Meon released an overwhelming power which caused even Yamoshi, along with Kakarot, to retreat, because the strong rays he emanated were powerful enough to even end the life of a king completely.
Kakarot, this is serious. The power he acquired thanks to all the demons of the underworld has been of an incomprehensible level.
Yamoshi, I know that you're my ancestor, but that power will not intimidate me. Watch this! Kakarot likewise began to raise his power, with which he seemed to be accessing the Primal Super Saiyan. But something was to differentiate. It was all Kakarot's first, since his entire body was being covered with it. Yamoshi at that moment was surprised, since the form which Kakarot was accessing was called the Saiyan Ancestral form. because Yamoshi was not able to control such a state millions of years ago. So he decided to seal the most animal parts of the Saiyans, but Kakarot had been able to break all the limit which possessed.
I can't believe it! He was really make it. He'll be able to overcome the barrier of the powerful primal Saiyan God.
The Great Ozaru could be observed so quickly, hundreds of energy extortions shook all the outer space, while the pressure was so much that it would even reach the Kingdom of the Whole, in which Zeno-sama, along with Daishinken, were very surprised.
Kakarot's power is amazing. I can't believe Whis trained him, because the power that was sleeping in that Saiyan is able to end the life of a...
On the planet of Beerus, everything around him seemed to be destroyed by the power that both warriors were expelling. But even though the planet of Beerus seemed to be destroyed, and Beerus was in a panic, Whis seemed to be in harmony with himself.
What the hell's wrong with you? We're gonna die and you feel like none of this is happening?
Mr. Beerus, you shouldn't worry. My little Kakarot will finally show the true power of a Saiyan, which even surpasses the primal Super Saiyan. Beerus would be surprised because he did not understand Whis' words. But at that moment, everything would calm down. But on the battlefield, incredible blows began. Kimuro, who would try to attack Kakarot from behind, would be frozen by his simple pressure, and at the moment would be turned into simple dust by breaking the ice statue.
It's Meon time to end your damn existence! You've lived for millions of years, but I'll have to end your life. Damn, that's impossible for you, since you don't have the supreme power. I count on the power of the entire demonic race. You don't have anyone. You're completely wrong about that, since I really count on the power of all my friends and family, unlike your pathetic stolen power.
Furious, Meon began to exchange millions of blows with Kakarot, who did not look the least bit fazed. But with his defense, he began to put pressure on Meon, who did not master all that great power. His power began to decrease even minimally, but Kakarot had noticed this, which, without losing that opportunity, wanted to humiliate him.
Don't finish with Meon so quickly. His power's starting to wane. Apparently his body's not able to withstand all that pressure, so I'll humiliate him and then finish with the...
Meanwhile, Yamoshi was surprised because everything around him was starting to freeze, while the pressure, on this occasion, was able to even make the great priest Daishinken fall to his knees, which his power was not at all low, but the presence of Kakarot was felt by all universes.
The power of Kakarot's amazing. I'm not able to stand up. I feel the pressure even greater than that of a king at all.
This is because Kakarot's broken the barrier that separates the divine world from the angelic world. I can feel the essence of an Archangel God sleeping inside.
Daishinken would be very surprised by the words of Zeno-sama. Returning to the battlefield, Meon spits out large amounts of blood, so he was not able to do anything against Kakarot. On this occasion, was torturing Meon, completely dismembering him and granting him power so that he doesn't die. An act that left even his predecessor Yamoshi scared.
That's why I was never able to master the ancestral state of Super Saiyan. The way to fight is aggressiveness in all its splendor.
Yamoshi, with his legendary status, would approach Kakarot, but Kakarot, without any control, with a big blow had sent him flying, because he felt a hostile presence.
Kakarot, react, damn! That's not you! Don't let the essence of the Saiyan ancestral god be able to dominate you. You're much more than just a pawn of your anger.
Kakarot at that moment, it seemed that he'd been able to find and control, but a big ball of energy would pulverize Meon. But when he turned his head, his gaze was absolute evil. That's right, Kakarot at that precise moment was able to access a transformation never seen before. That's right, Kakarot's body was not able to withstand such a state, so he had to evolve. But this time, Kakarot's appearance seemed that of the same demon.
What the hell are you? I can't believe you're Kakarot.
Of course I'm Kakarot, but I'm the Archangel Kakarot, and I intend to end everything created.
Yamoshi would access his maximum power. Both Saiyans began to exchange millions of blows, but the difference in power was clear, since Kakarot's power surpassed him by thousands of times. Whis was observing everything that happened through his staff. He would quickly go to the place of the battle, being somewhat surprised because the instant he arrived, he was able to observe the powerful Yamoshi on the verge of death.
Kakarot, I know you're somewhere. I trust you, Kakarot.
Kakarot, while holding his head, felt a strong pain. Releasing Yamoshi, Whis would help him recover. But even though Yamoshi is at 100% of all his power, he was not able to do anything against Kakarot. But at that moment, a big door appeared in front of everyone, and a great pressure could be perceived. What's this pressure? But unlike the pressure of Kakarot, is much warmer. From the door, a warrior, very identical to a Saiyan, would prostrate himself in front of everyone. But that warrior would throw a great sphere towards Whis and Yamoshi. The power of the Archangel sleeps inside you. It's bad luck that the negative power woke up first, so my superiors have ordered me to end your existence. Ryon, with a single blow, sent Kakarot to a planet, which would be completely destroyed due to the power. Kakarot would recover, but when he got to his feet, he wasn't able to do it. All his vision was blurred. Who is this guy? The power he has is overwhelming. If you want to take down these multiversal beings, you have to pick on someone your own size. Let's have an Archangel-level battle. Furious, Kakarot would lash out against Ryon, who treated Kakarot as a simple child. But all this was part of Kakarot's plan because he knew that his power was far from being compared to that warrior. Kakarot would allow himself to be humiliated so that thanks to his Saiyan cell phone, his power would increase much more. After 3 hours in which Kakarot had even lost parts of his body. I've gotten tired of humiliating him, but what does that damn smile mean? I don't know why I feel my whole body shaking. Ha 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 ha! Get ready. I hope you're ready for me to humiliate you, because if you have the courage to humiliate me, you must have the courage to be prepared for the humiliation of your life. Ryon, before being able to say something, a great aura in the form of death would tear him as he had been able to tear everything around him. Ryon, trying to recover from that attack, he did not have the required time as Kakarot would appear on his forehead, and as if by lightning, he began to deal him the beating of his life. Ryon, despite being named as the most powerful Archangel of the Saiyan rank, was being humiliated by a Saiyan who had been born in the mortal world unlike of him who had been born in the higher world. I plan to end your pathetic life, and I'll feed on your power to quench my thirst for blood. Kakarot was able to insert his hand into Rykon's chest, but the instant he was about to end his life, Whis would appear at Kakarot's side. Kakarot, my little Saiyan, I totally trust you. Don't let me down, please. Kakarot would begin to have a severe headache. That's right, the emotions and feelings towards Whis, who was the one who took care of him and trained him since he was a baby, were able to make Kakarot regain consciousness. Kakarot, realizing what he was about to do, would carefully pull out his hand, asking for an apology. But both warriors at that moment fell out of combat, so Whis would take them to the Kingdom of the All. Zeno-sama was surprised to observe Ryon since he was able to realize who he was as such an incredible warrior. How is it possible that Ryon is in these conditions? What happened to him? Great Zeno-sama, do you even know him? He's the one who is facing Kakarot. Of course I know him. But in any case, Kakarot's power has really been even overcome an Archangel. I can't believe it. This hasn't happened for 50 million years. Kakarot would wake up a little sore from such a battle, but Zeno-sama would continue to explain who was the warrior capable of overcoming the barrier between the mortal world and the Archangel world. That's right, the first person was Mikoshin, the powerful Archangel, in every sense of the word, being able to even overcome kings at all. But with the training of millions of years, unlike Kakarot, who was only 35 years old, it was something never seen before. Ryon would wake up expelling his great power. Due to that, I didn't know where he was. Everyone fell to their knees, with the exception of Kakarot, as he'd been able to assimilate all the pressure of being called Archangel. You're in the Kingdom of the All. This is the place where the most powerful being of the 12 universe lives. Ryon, observing Kakarot, again launched against him, but great was the surprise of everyone to Kakarot being able to stop his blow, despite being only in the Super Saiyan Primal. That's right, Kakarot was able to access this in a matter of seconds. I apologize for the battle we had, but I've been able to master all that power to 50%, making it mine completely. If you wish to fight, I'll finish with you. Ryon, with his pride shattered, would accept that he was not able to do anything against Kakarot. But at the time of leaving, Kakarot would be named as the new most powerful being of all the 12 universes. However, Kakarot would reject him immediately.
Zeno-sama, I wish that you remain the being who rules all the universes, since your power and your word must remain the supreme authority. But Kakarot, your power surpasses me by tens of times. You deserve to be the new king and ruler of the whole. No, great Zeno-sama, I trust that you'll do a better job than I will. You've always been the king of everything. I trust in you. My little one, now you are even a being which is feared by one of the archangels of the multiverse. You make me feel very proud of you. Father, I appreciate that you've placed your trust in me. I'll never do anything to disappoint you.
Whis, along with Kakarot, would leave for the planet of Beerus, in which Kakarot began to train with both deities, because Beerus didn't want to stay behind any god of destruction. With the help of the mighty Kakarot-sama, who even surpasses the great Zeno-sama, I'm sure I'll become a mighty warrior. That's how the disciple, after several years, was able to even become a master, and the entire multiverse of Zeno-sama was guarded by Kakarot, who in his training was also able to master the ancestral Super Saiyan. That's right, Kakarot mastered the beast state of the Saiyans. It was a normal day in the life of the inhabitants of planet Earth. People were eating in restaurants, walking with their families. There were children playing when suddenly a giant lightning bolt was seen in the sky that caused a strong movement throughout the Earth's surface. Buildings collapsed. People could not stand up. Windows exploded. All this resulted in car accidents and injuries. At the moment, a child was going to be pierced by a giant glass that fell from a building. Very close by, we see how a being that we cannot distinguish who it is flies through the skies at great speed, rescuing people who were in danger due to the strong movement. At the precise moment when the child was about to die, that being rescues him, seeing how a huge piece of glass explodes against the ground. We see how this hooded being stands up from behind, revealing that it was none other than Goku, who had been hidden for a long time because Daishinken and the angels wanted to see him dead. Goku, with a different appearance than the one we all know, after rescuing the boy, is amazed by the energy that emerges from the earth to the sky. We can see how Vegeta arrives at the place where Goku is together with the Z Warriors, who were still saving people from the disaster. Vegeta looks at Goku face to face and says, "Kakarot, insect, where have you been all this time?" At that moment, Gohan and Goten arrive and tell him,
Dad, where have you been?
"What happened to you, father?" All this happened while Piccolo, Krillin, Trunks, and Android 18 were rescuing the people affected by the movement. After having finished saving them, they arrive to where they are reunited with Goku and look at him very surprised. In a head-to-toe scan, we can see Goku's face very emaciated, with wounds and pronounced cheekbones because he had not tasted any kind of food for a long time. At that moment, we go back in time about 20 years ago. We see how Goku and his son Goten are walking together in the forest. Goku, talking to his son, says,
Hey Goten, are you ready to fish today?
To which Goten replies,
Yes, Dad. Will you show me the fastest way to catch them?
Goku, happy for his son's enthusiasm, replies,
Of course, Goten, but this time I'm going to try something different. Watch this.
Goku dives into the water and after a short time comes out with a big jump with a huge fish moving on his hands. Goten, very surprised, says to his father,
Wow, Dad, how did you do that?
Goku, showing a very happy expression, says,
When I was little like you, Goten, I had to find my own food in order to live. You should try to give it a try.
Goten, very excited, says to his father,
I'll try.
And so Goten dives into the water to the joyful sight of his father, to which, on the first attempt, Goten fails to catch any fish. Seeing Goten's sad face, Goku encourages his son, saying,
Don't worry, Goten. It's a matter of practice and patience. The key is to be quick and not scare the fish.
So Goten dives in again, but this time it takes a long time to come out. when suddenly Goku feels a very powerful ki very close to where he was. Because of this, Goku worried about his son's dives in search of him. Once in the water, he sees Goten fainted and next to him a very strange artifact. Goku, worried about the state in which he found his son, swims to rescue him. At the moment, he was about to lift his son in his arms, ready to go to the surface, the strange artifact begins to emit a very sharp sound that only Goku hears. Wu, with a face of confusion and pain, tries to lift his son, but suddenly the artifact comes off the ground and permeates his chest. Once on his chest, the artifact stops emitting that strange sound and Goku stops feeling the ki of a moment ago. Goku does not take importance to what had happened to him and worried about his son. He lifts him up to get him out of the water. Once outside, Goku puts his son on the ground to revive him, but suddenly an unknown being appeared to him. This being had a greenish coat, blue hair with black tips, and it was a very strange appearance. But it did not seem to be something real. It looked like an illusion. Goku, upon realizing this being, became alert and put his son in good protection. After that, addressing the being, he asks him, "Who are you? What do you want here?" This being, without uttering a word, rushes at high speed towards Goku, who in an act of reflex manages to dodge the first blow. But the speed of the stranger exceeds him by far. Because of that, after dodging the first blow, the unknown being lunges with a kick to the head, which Goku barely manages to block, leaving his stomach exposed, where he takes the opportunity to impact a direct punch, automatically leaving Goku out of air, and thus returns to lunge with a blow to the nape of the neck. Goku, when he was about to lose consciousness, hears a voice in the distance that says, "Apparently this is my best guest that could touch me," saying this in a sarcastic way. "I hope my colleagues are in good condition." After hearing these words, Goku faints. A few minutes after the fleeting confrontation, Goku regains consciousness and realizing that the unknown being was no longer in the place, he looks for Goten, and when he finds him, he begins to unexpectedly and repeatedly call his name to make him react. Seeing that calling him had no effect, he feels his breathing and notices that he was almost not breathing. He creates an energy sphere in his hand and places it on Goten's chest. Once Goten revives the energy from his father, he reacts and spurts water from his mouth. Goten, with a puzzled expression, asks his father what had happened, to which Goku says, "I have the same question for you. What happened?" Goten tells him that at the precise moment he was about to capture the fish, he felt attracted to the artifact, which also tried to impregnate in his chest. At the time, Goten felt a strong source of energy that ran through every part of his body, which was very difficult to control, and felt how that strange energy weakened him until he lost consciousness and fainted. Goku, in his thoughts, and that he also felt the same strange and very powerful energy running through his body, and worried about his son, asked him if he still felt that energy inside him. Goku, calmly and a little puzzled, told him no, that he only felt that when the artifact was trying to permeate him. While this was happening on Earth, Whis and Beerus went to the Kingdom of Everything to talk to Daishaken, since they had noticed him very tense and worried. Once they were already in the Kingdom of Everything, Daishaken appears with a very serious expression, while Whis and Beerus bow to him to show respect. Daishaken, relieved to see that Whis and Beerus were with him, tells them something very strange and dangerous is about to happen. Whis, with a puzzled expression, asks, "What is it, father? We'd noticed a certain tension in the air as we reached the realm of the whole." Beerus, yawning without realizing the seriousness of the fright, says to him, "Trouble again? What could be so dangerous to make Daishaken so worried?" "Serious? And worried, the High Priest?" To which Daishaken replies, "Yes, I'm afraid so. A powerful entity has resurfaced, once we have not faced in a long time." Whis, with a very serious expression, says to him, "An unknown entity? Could it be one of the beings we left sealed away long ago?" "It is possible, Whis. Its energies are as dark as they are disconcerting. I cannot identify the source with certainty, but its power is overwhelming." Beerus, frowning, says, "Why should I worry about it? If it's that strong, I'll go and destroy it." Daishaken, with a very serious expression, explains, "It's not that simple, Lord Beerus. This entity seems to have the ability to change even the most ancient gods. We cannot underestimate it." Whis thoughtfully asks his father, "How do you suggest we deal with this situation, father?" "We need to gather information before we act rashly. Whis, Beerus, I trust you with the task of investigating. Find out all you can about this entity and any weaknesses he may have." Beerus, smiling confidently, exclaimed, "Good, good. A little action won't hurt." Nodding, Whis replies, "We will be on our way, Daishinken, but be aware that if this entity threatens our universe, we will not hesitate to take drastic measures."
I understand, Whis. May wisdom guide your actions, and may you return with the information we need.
After that conversation, Whis and Beerus depart for the hitherto unknown destination, while Daishinken watches with concern, aware of the gravity of the situation looming in the realm of everything. As they were on their way back to Earth to ask for Goku and Vegeta's help, Whis recalls that when they were on their way to the realm of everything, he sensed a very strong and dangerous ki on planet Earth. Halfway through his quest in the universe, he stops and, confused, Beerus says to Whis, "What's wrong? Why are you stopping?" Whis, very serene, says to Beerus, "Oh, my dear Lord Beerus, it turns out on our way to the realm of everything, I detected a rather intriguing presence." Yawning, Beerus asks,
A mysterious entity. We didn't need to get any of what Daishinken told us.
Whis, with a nervous smile, replies, "Don't worry, Mr. Beerus. This time it doesn't seem to be a direct threat. I just felt a fleeting flash of power, something that crossed our path." Beerus frowns at Whis.
And you didn't give it any importance? Isn't that what Daishinken was talking about?
"Well, the truth is, I didn't consider it an immediate threat. It was like a flash of power energy, but it disappeared as quickly as it came. It didn't seem to have any hostile intentions." Beerus, thinking about the situation, asks,
So what shall we do then? Does Daishinken want us to investigate something like this?
"Yes, but I think the best option is to go ahead with our main mission, to find out what the entity has surfaced. The fleeting presence may be a mere detail compared to what awaits us." So Whis and Beerus went on their way through the universe, looking for the entity Daishinken mentioned without giving so much importance to what happened on Earth. Back on Earth, the precise moment Goku rescued his son Goten, Goku, confused by what had happened to his son and the strange artifact that had impregnated in his chest, told Goten, "Let's go home immediately." As they flew on their way home, Goku tries to sense Vegeta's ki so he could teleport with him, as soon as he left his son with his mother Chi-Chi. At that moment, we see how Vegeta was already gathered by the Z Warriors, Krillin, Android 18, Piccolo, Tenshinhan, Chaos, Gohan, Future Trunks, and Master Roshi, who were talking about the strong and dark energy they had felt. Goku and Goten arrive home, and his mother, worried because they had taken a long time to return, runs to Goten and says, "Goten, son, are you alright?" To which Goten replies, "Don't worry, Mom, we're fine." Chi-Chi raises her head to Goku and notices that he's very serious. She lowers her gaze a little and notices the strange artifact he had on his chest. Chi-Chi asks him, "Goku, what's that you have there? Are you alright?" Goku immediately changes his expression with a fake smile reply. "Oh, don't worry. It's nothing important." Chi-Chi, in a very insistent way, "Goku, don't fool me. What happened?" "This thing I have on my chest. This very strange artifact I have on my chest. Well, it's a strange artifact, but I'm fine, really. I'm going to find out what it is and we'll get on with our lives." Chi-Chi, worried about Goku, hugs him and says, "Promise me you'll come back, Goku." To which Goku, with a smile, answers her yes. While he was about to make the teleportation, Goku says goodbye, saying to Goten, "Take care of your mother. I'll be right back." He teleports. Moments before Goku arrived to meeting the Z Warriors, as they were at Bulma's house, they were talking about what they had felt a moment ago. Vegeta, with a very serious expression, asks,
Did anyone else feel that dark energy? I can't identify it, but it's disturbing.
Piccolo, frowning, replies,
Yes, I felt it. It's as if it disappeared immediately as soon as we felt it. Something's not right.
Gohan, very worried, says, "Dad, Goten are with my mother. We should look for them." At that moment, Goku appears in front of them through teleportation and says very seriously, "Guys, I felt a strange presence. Something happened with Goten, but I rescued him." Piccolo, analyzing everything that happened, notices something strange on Goku's body and asks him,
Goku, what's that artifact on your chest?
"That's what I want to find out. But before that, I need to tell you something." To everyone's expectant and uncertain gaze, he says, "The strange energy you felt came from this artifact in my chest." Vegeta frowns and asks,
How's it possible? Does that device emit that energy?
Goku, somewhat worried, nods and says, "It seems so. The moment I rescued Goten, this artifact permeated my chest, and I began to feel an incredible amount of pressure coursing through every part of my body." Piccolo, thinking about everything Goku was telling them, asks,
And how did it get in your chest?
The artifact was underwater right next to Goten, who had fainted. As soon as I was approaching it, it emitted a very sharp sound that didn't allow me to get close to Goten. Despite that, I managed to get close, and out of nowhere, it jumped in front of my chest to stay there. After everything that had happened with Goten, I tried to take it off, but when I did it again, it came back to permeate my chest. We must find out what this artifact is and why it has such a great amount of power. I'm counting on you.
Vegeta, determined, says, "Let's do it. We won't let any threat catch us off guard."
Future Trunks earnestly tells everyone, "I agree. Together, we'll figure out what's going on."
Goku thanks all his friends for the support they were giving him, but at that moment he changes his joyful expression to one of seriousness, as he remembered what had happened just before he lost consciousness. Gohan, noticing the sudden change in his father's expression, asks him,
"Dad, what's wrong? Is there anything else you must tell us?"
Vegeta adds, "Insect, you're not hiding anything from us, are you?" Goku remembered what had happened at that moment. With an expression of concern and anguish, he tells them about the fight he had with an unknown being, which exceeds his strength by far. And he remembers that the entity mentioned that he had colleagues that he had hoped would be alright. Piccolo, with fear but serene, says to Goku, "Are you sure of what you're saying? For what you are telling us is very dangerous. If he surpasses your strength by far, in that case we wouldn't stand a chance against him. We'd be a hindrance rather than a support, Goku." Goku, after hearing that, tells him what he felt in the confrontation. The moment the unknown being appeared, I felt the same amount and type of power and the dark ki that ran through my body as the strange artifact permeated my chest. As soon as Goku finished telling what had happened, as soon as he got out of the water, Piccolo came up with an idea. It wasn't that far-fetched, but he could explain what the strange artifact was and why he was facing the unknown being. Piccolo, observing the artifact, turns to Goku saying, "This looks familiar. It may be like a containment urn, like the ones we used at the Mafuba to seal powerful beings." Surprised Goku, "Really, Piccolo? Do you think this could be something like that?" Krillin, looking at the artifact, "An artifact like this one, used with the Mafuba on Goku's chest? Since when did battles become so complicated?" "There's always something new with you Saiyans." Master Roshi, somewhat excited, but at the same time serious, exclaimed,
"Ah, Mafuba! I remember when we sealed King Piccolo with that. Do you think Goku has such a strong enemy inside?"
Future Trunks, analyzing what had happened, says,
"It makes sense. The Mafuba urns are powerful devices to contain evil energies. Could this artifact have sealed something?"
"I don't care if it's from the Mafuba or anywhere else. I just want to know how to get rid of this thing once and for all." "It's a possibility. The urns we use to keep very strong enemies under control. But why did it attach yourself to Goku?"
"I'm not sure, but what I do know is that this energy is linked to a very powerful entity."
"Whatever it is, if it's linked to that artifact, we cannot underestimate it. So what do you plan to do, Kakarot?" At that moment, the Kaiosama of the North telepathically communicates with Goku to tell him that he had information about the powerful energy that they felt and the mysterious artifact that permeated his chest. Kaiosama tells him to get to his planet quickly.
"First, we need information. Kaiosama has information about this artifact and the being that might be inside it. We must go to Kaiosama so we can find out what we're dealing with."
Vegeta nods and Goku continues.
"Exactly, but first, I need your help. If there are any more entities like this, the Earth could be in danger. And with this connection to the artifact, I could put them at risk. Therefore, I'll only go to Kaiosama to get the information to get rid of this artifact."
"Kakarot, don't even think that you'll do this alone. I'll go with you, Insect. I can't accept that you become stronger than me." Goku accepts and asks him to put his hand on his shoulder. Once Goku and Vegeta left, the Z Warriors sensed unknown presences on the planet, so they split into groups and flew off at high speed to go investigate. With the re-evaluation that the artifact at Goku's chest might be like a containment urn, similar to those used in Mafuba, the Z Warriors faced an increasingly complex and dangerous situation. Uncertainty about what such an artifact contains and how it is connected to the mysterious dark energy fills them with worry. While Goku and Vegeta were to where Kaiosama and the Z-Warriors went to investigate the unknown presences they had detected in space, Whis and Beerus, after having traversed much of space, felt a strong amount of dark energy, so they immediately head to where it was. As they are about to reach the source of the dark energy, the pressure in the air becomes more intense as they get closer, and the unknown entity awaits their arrival.
Why do I feel like this is going to be more complicated than we thought?
Mr. Beerus, the information we gain here could be crucial to understanding the threat we face on Earth.
The unknown entity, surrounded by a dark aura, reveals itself in front of Whis and Beerus. Its presence is overwhelming and a sinister laugh echoes in space. Unknown entity mockingly welcomes them, saying,
I expected your arrival. You took longer than I expected.
"Do not underestimate the gods. We're here to stop any threat that endangers our universe."
Before any confrontation, can you tell us who you are and what you're doing here?
Oh, that's funny. I'm known as Ryuk, disciple of the Devourer of Worlds. I have come to free the Master, the most powerful being who ever lived. The expression on Whis' and Beerus' faces become much more serious upon hearing Ryuku's name. Ryuk, that name rings a bell.
Ryuk is an ancient threat, Lord Beerus. His master, he and the other disciples were sealed away millennia ago due to his unquenchable thirst for power and destruction.
So it looks like we have a problem. This time it won't be as easy sealing him again. The space fills with palpable tension as Ryuk, surrounded by a dark and malevolent aura, confronts Whis and Beerus. The dark energy emanating from him seems to distort the very fabric of space around him.
Problem, you say? You are correct, little god. The Master has been patiently awaiting your release, and now with my arrival, that time has finally come.
Beerus moves into combat stance with a determined expression on his face, while Whis remains composed but alert.
I have no time for games. If your master is a threat, we'll stop you here and now.
Tell us more about your master. Understanding his motivations might help us find a peaceful solution.
Ryuk chuckles mischievously, revealing his sharp fangs, then disappears in a dark flash before reappearing behind Beerus with astonishing speed.
There's nothing they can do to stop the Master's inevitable resurgence. But before that, they could entertain me.
The battle begins. Ryuk throws a swift punch towards Beerus, but the Destroyer guy nimbly dodges and responds with an energy punch that Ryuk blocks easily. Meanwhile, Whis watches carefully, waiting for the right moment to intervene. Ryuk's speed is impressive, but Beerus manages to keep up. They exchange blows and energy blasts in a combat that seems to defy the laws of space itself. Ryuk's dark energy distorts reality around him, making its impact more dangerous and intense.
Lord Beerus, your speed is amazing, but that dark energy is problematic. I suggest you be careful with your movements.
Beerus nods as he dodges an enemy attack and counterattacks with an energy wave. Ryuk, undeterred, vanishes and reappears in front of Whis, challenging him to enter the fight.
And you, assistant of the god, will you dare to face me?
Whis smiles serenely and disappears in a flash, only to reappear behind Ryuk.
I have no intention of fighting, but if that's what you wish.
Before Whis finishes his sentence, Ryuk turns around and launches a fierce attack towards him. Whis, with his extraordinary speed, dodges each blow with grace. Space convulsed with the fury of the cosmic confrontation between Whis, Beerus, and Ryuk. Each move shattered reality itself. As Ryuk's dark energy and the god's divine blast intertwined in a demonstration of opposing forces, Ryuk, his ominous figure shrouded in a dark aura, moved with breathtaking speed. His sinister left echoed through the emptiness of space, challenging the gods who faced him.
This guy's faster than I thought.
As Beerus' words fade away, Ryuk disappears in the blink of an eye and reappears in front of him with a punch charged with dark energy. Beerus manages to block the attack, but the force of impact sends shockwaves through space. Ryuk breaks away from Beerus with a smirk, and in a flash lunges towards Whis. His movements were fluid. Whis, on the other hand, moves gracefully, dodging each blow with the grace of a cosmic dancer.
This dark power is intriguing, but it is out of balance.
Ryuk, frustrated by Whis' evasive ability, concentrates his dark energy in his hands and launches it as a flare. Whis responds by creating an energy barrier, but the resulting collision sends shockwaves through space, shaking nearby stars. Beerus takes advantage of Ryuk's distraction and lunges at him with a punch charged with divine energy. Ryuk blocks the blow, but the resulting force causes an explosion that creates the ephemeral supernova in the cosmos. The fight continues with unmatched speed. Ryuk demonstrates his skill in anticipating the god's moves, while Beerus and Whis unleash their divine power to counter the darkness that threatens to engulf them. In a moment of pause, Ryuk grins mischievously and his dark aura begins to intensify. A transformation was underway. The darkness concentrates around his body, forming a sort of dark cocoon that breaks, revealing a transformed figure. Now Ryuk has evolved. His previous form pales in comparison to the manifestation of his current power. His figure has become more imposing, with twisted shadows dancing around him as if they were extensions of his own essence. Sharp fangs glow with dark radiance, and his eyes emit a malevolent light.
Ha ha ha! This is just a glimpse of my true power.
Beerus and Whis exchange a worried glance. The pressure in the air becomes even more intense. Ryuk, now in his transformation form, launches himself towards the gods with outstanding speed. Beerus tries to counterattack with a sphere of divine energy, but Ryuk dodges each projectile with ease, moving through the bursts of light with supernatural agility. Meanwhile, Whis stands in reverse, watching the fight with analytical eyes. In a quick blink, Ryuk appears in front of Beerus and unleashes a series of vicious blows. The sonic sounds of punches and echoes kicked through space as the gods and devourer of worlds, discipled, plunge into a frenzy of combat. Beerus, struggling to keep up with Ryuk's speed, takes a direct punch to the stomach that sends him drifting into space. Before he can recover, however, Ryuk lunges at him and blasts him with a barrage of blows. The situation becomes even more complicated when Ryuk, in a ruthless act, concentrates dark energy in his hand and drives it through Beerus' abdomen. The Destroyer God lets out a roar of pain as darkness spreads from the point of impact. Whis, seeing the stark reality, springs into action. His figure flashes in space as he stands in front of Ryuk, blocking his attacks.
I cannot allow you to harm my lord in this way.
Whis' divine energy collides with Ryuk's darkness in a show of cosmic power. The battle intensifies and the fate of the universe hangs in the balance as the confrontation between light and darkness reaches its climax. The confrontation between Whis and Ryuk intensified as space became the stage for their fierce cosmic battle. The clash of divine and dark energies echoed in the void of the universe, creating ripples that stretched to the far reaches of space.
You think you can stop me, Whis?
The master of divine martial arts, Whis, maintained his serene composure as he resisted the onslaught of the devourer of worlds disciple. His divine aura glowed brightly, fighting against the darkness that threatened to envelop him. Whis, with a wave of his hand, unleashed a blast of divine energy that forced Ryuk back momentarily. However, the smile on the dark being's face revealed that he was far from giving up.
Ryuk, your quest for power will only lead to destruction.
Ryuk, releasing a sinister laugh, launched himself at Whis with renowned furiosity. Each exchange of blows was like a clash of titans, with the fate of the universe hanging in the balance. Meanwhile, Beerus was recovering from the wounds inflicted by Ryuk, watching the battle with critical eyes. The darkness that had pierced his abdomen was beginning to dissipate thanks to divine regeneration, but the experience had left an indelible mark.
This creature is more formidable than I imagined.
And determined not to be a mere spectator, Beerus joined the battle with renowned determination. His figure flashed with divine energy that rivaled Whis', creating a spectacle of light and shadow in space. The three powerful beings engaged in a cosmic dance, with flashes of divine and dark energy illuminating the vastness of the universe. Ryuk, without losing his smirk, took advantage of his transformation to increase his speed and strength, challenging the gods with every move. The combat reached new levels of complexity when Whis, in a flash of cunning, unleashed a divine teleportation technique. He moved at the speed of thought, appearing and disappearing at different points in space, keeping Ryuk on the defensive.
You can't dodge me forever, Whis.
As Whis and Ryuk clashed in space, Beerus focused on channeling his divine energy. The Destroyer God sank into a meditative state, concentrating on unleashing his true power. Beerus' transformation was gradual but impactful. His figure was enveloped in a golden aura, and his eyes shone with the intensity of a star. Divine power flowed through him, manifesting in a form that only the mightiest gods could attain, allowing the grievous wound left by Ryuk to be healed.
It's time to put an end to this.
The reborn Beerus lunged towards Ryuk with unparalleled speed. Each blow he delivered was imbued with overwhelming divine energy. Ryuk, though powerful, was overwhelmed by the onslaught of the Destroyer God. Meanwhile, Whis continued his cosmic ballet, defying the laws of space and time with his speed and agility. Every move was calculated, every blow strategically executed. The battle reached its climax as Beerus and Whis coordinated, combining their attacks to create a symphony of divine energy that enveloped Ryuk. The pressure in the air became almost tangible, and the cosmos itself seemed to rumble with the intensity of the conflict.
Do you have anything to say, Ryuk?
Ryuk, gravely wounded but still defiant, let out a shrill laugh. His figure writhed as the dark energy tried to resist the overwhelming pressure of the gods.
This is not the end, gods. My master will be released, and his darkness will devour all.
Beerus, showing no mercy, unleashed a sphere of concentrated divine energy and hurled it directly at Ryuk. The resulting explosion illuminated the space, dispelling the darkness that had lingered. Silence fell over the space as the gods watched the wreckage of the battle. Ryuk lay motionless, defeated, but not destroyed. His threat had been contained, at least for now.
This is not over. We need to find out more about his master and any threat that may arise.
Whis nodded, sharing the same determination. The reality of the danger that stalked the universe became more apparent, and the gods knew they had to prepare to face even greater challenges. The cosmic explosion that marked the end of the fierce battle dissipated into the vast space, leaving Whis and Beerus floating in momentary tranquility. As they regained their composure, a flash of gold announced the arrival of Daishinkan, the High Priest, who appeared before them with a serene but worried expression.
I see you've dealt with the threat, dear Whis and Beerus.
Yes, Father. Ryuk has been contained, at least for now.
But this isn't the end, is it?
Daishinkan smiled wisely as he held in his hands a strange artifact, a glowing sphere that emanated an energy like the one they felt during the battle.
This is what I wanted to show you. It's known as the Sphere of Divine Containment, an ancient artifact capable of sealing beings of great power and darkness.
Beerus and Whis watched intently as Daishinkan explained the function of the sphere and how it was used to keep the most dangerous entities in the universe at bay.
This artifact has been kept in safekeeping for eons. It's only brought to light in extreme situations. The dark energy they felt came from one of these sealed entities, released by Ryuk's recklessness.
Whis and Beerus exchanged worried glances as they assimilated the information.
Who are these sealed entities? They are beings from the distant past, fallen gods and creatures whose thirst for power make them uncontrollable. This sphere of divine containment is our safeguard against their resurgence.
So, Ryuk was one of them, and his master?
His master is the Devourer of Worlds, an even more ancient and dangerous being. His release could jeopardize existence itself.
The gravity of the situation hung heavy in the air as Daishinkan continued to explain the importance of keeping the sphere of divine containment safe and sealing Ryuk again.
Now that Ryuk has been contained, it's crucial that he returns to his place of safekeeping. But we also need to get information from him. We need to know more about the Devourer of Worlds' plans and any threats that may arise.
Beerus, Whis, and Daishinkan shared a determined look. The task was not complete. There is still work to be done.
If interrogating Ryuk could give us answers, we'll do so, but we must proceed with caution.
The information we gathered will be essential to prepare for future threats. Also, we need to reinforce the security of the sphere of divine containment.
Daishinkan, with a nod of his head, showed his approval of the god's decision.
Very well. Let us return to the realm of all and set preparations in motion. The safety of the universe depends on us.
The three gods, with the glowing sphere in hand, teleported to the realm of all, ready to confront the shadows of the past and ensure the stability of the universe. The spheres of divine containment, now more than ever, became the beacon of hope amidst the darkness that threatened to emerge. Meanwhile on Earth, The Z warriors, divided into groups, scattered into the sky in the direction of the unknown presences they had sensed on the planet of the northern Kaiosama. In the air, they moved at impressive speeds, ready to face any threat that crossed their path. On Kaiosama's planet, Goku and Vegeta appeared thanks to teleportation, scarring Kaiosama with serious and determined expressions. Kaiosama, who was waiting for them, welcomed them with nervous gestures.
Goku, Vegeta, I'm glad you came so quickly. The information I have is crucial.
We need to know what this artifact is and what threat it poses. We don't have time to waste. What do you know? Kaiosama nodded and led the Saiyans to his small home on the planet. Once inside, they unfolded an ancient scroll that revealed information about a mystical artifact known as the Cosmic Core of Containment. He explained that this artifact was used by the ancient gods to seal entities of great evil and power, preventing them from wreaking havoc in the universe.
This artifact is so ancient that there are hardly any records of its creation. It was thought to be lost, but apparently all this time it was hidden on planet Earth.
And how is it supposed to be sealed?
Tell us at once.
Kaiosama explained that the Cosmic Core of Containment could be opened by a being of great power, but in doing so, the seal would be transferred to the first being it encountered. If the seal was not broken immediately, it would merge with that being, granting it power, but also binding it to the duty of keeping the evil sealed.
And how the heck did it end up in Goku's chest?
That's the puzzling thing. It seems that this artifact shows Goku as its carrier.
Goku, with an expression of astonishment, began to grasp the magnitude of the situation. He was now the bearer of an artifact containing an entity of indescribable evil. So you mean I'm now responsible for keeping this evil under control?
What an honor, Kakarot. It seems you've become the guardian of evil.
But there is something else. The being sealed inside the urn is incredibly powerful. He is known as Bahamut, the Devourer of Worlds. It is an ancient entity that has consumed entire worlds.
The gravity of the situation was reflected on the faces of Goku and Vegeta. Not only did they have to face the mysterious artifact in Goku's chest, but also the dark entity sealed within. Then we have an important task. We must keep Bahamut under control and, at the same time, figure out how to free ourselves from this burden.
Yes, make no mistake, Kakarot. If this threatens Earth, I'll not hesitate to stop you.
Meanwhile on Earth, the Z warriors faced unusual pressure as they prepared for combat. Each group was ready to deal with the entities they had sensed at Bulma's house, which were minions of Bahamut, the Devourer of Worlds. The dark energy surrounding these minions was intense, and the very air seemed to vibrate with their malevolent presence. The group of Krillin, Master Roshi, and Android 18 encountered one of Bahamut's 4 minions standing on the ground, humanoids with a black, malevolent aura. The Z warriors prepared for the confrontation with Krillin, Android 18, and Master Roshi, adopting combat stances. In a chaotic dance of dark energy and flickering explosions, the confrontation between the Z warriors and Bahamut's henchmen unfolded on the cosmic stage of Earth's defense. Krillin, Android 18, and Master Roshi, 3 warriors of varying experience and skills, faced a dark menace that threatened to plunge the planet into an abyss of destruction. The stage was permeated with a tense atmosphere as the 3 warriors assumed combat stances, ready to defend the Earth against Bahamut's henchmen, a being whose malevolent aura eclipsed even the intensity of the sun. I don't know who you are, but we'll not allow you to harm our planet! Krillin's words echoed in the air, charged with determination. Bahamut's henchman, a humanoid with a black malevolent aura, advanced with ferocity, launching a dark attack. Krillin, in a display of amazing agility, dodged the attacks, moving like a gust of wind across the battlefield. Kaizen! In the blink of an eye, Krillin created his signature energy disc and launched it towards the henchman. Kaizen spun furiously, cutting through the air as it headed towards its target. However, the henchman displayed unmatched skill as he dodged the spinning attack, moving with an agility that defied comprehension. The henchman counterattacked with a series of dark, swift strikes, but Krillin was unwilling to give up. With precise and quick movements, he blocked most of the attacks, responding with quick and precise counterattacks. The combat dance between Krillin and the henchman painted a picture of speed and skill, where each movement could change the tide of the battle. Meanwhile, Master Roshi, the aged warrior with vast experience in martial arts, watched the confrontation with a knowing smile. He adopted a firm posture, waiting for his moment to intervene.
You've chosen the wrong man to fight. I've seen more battles than you can imagine.
As Bahamut's henchmen lunged towards him, Master Roshi moved with unique grace, dodging the attacks with precise movements and counterattacking with a series of energy blasts. The old man's experience and cunning proved to be a formidable challenge for the henchman, who was forced to deploy all his skills to confront the master. On the other hand, Android 18, the android warrior with formidable strength, advanced towards the henchman with determination. Her eyes glowed with an intense blue light as she unleashed her powerful android energy. Do not underestimate the strength of androids. With a quick wave of his hands, Android 18 launched a wave of energy towards the henchman. The latter, though impressed by the ferocity of the android warrior, showed no signs of recoiling. Instead, it lunged toward her with surprising speed, throwing dark blows that Android 18 dodged with cybernetic agility. The battle between Android 18 and the minion was a display of strength and speed, the bursts of energy lighting up the sky. Both fought with an intensity that could shake the foundations of the universe. Meanwhile, Android 18, a formidable warrior created by Dr. Gero, was ready to demonstrate her immense power. She charged her energy, her body radiating a red glow, and lunged towards the henchman with determination. Don't underestimate me. I'm stronger than you think. The henchman responded with a sudden surge of his dark aura, unleashing a surge of energy that pushed Android 18 back. The force of the impact created a shockwave, kicking up dust and debris in its wake. The battle was intense. Every move had a purpose and every attack resonated with the Z-Warriors' determination to protect their home. Explosions of energy followed one after another, lighting up the battlefield like fireworks in the dark night of space. However, the true magnitude of the threat was yet to be fully revealed. This henchman was only one of 4 sent by Bahamut, and the fate of Earth depended on the ability of the Z-Warriors to pass this first test. On the horizon, the other 3 minions awaited their turn, ready to plunge into the fray and test their bravery and skills of Earth's defenders. The intensity of the battle increased with each moment, and while Krillin, Android 18, and Master Roshi fought against the henchmen, other groups of Z-Warriors faced similar challenges in different locations around the planet. The fate of the Earth hung in the delicate balance of the unfolding cosmic battle, and each warrior was determined to give everything for the survival of his home. While the first group of warriors were defending Earth on Kaiosama's planet in the small house, it was permeated with a tense atmosphere and solemnity as Goku, Vegeta, and Kaiosama were immersed in the gravity of the situation. The ancient scroll spread out on the table revealed the secrets of an ancient artifact, and the weight now rested on Goku's shoulders. So you mean I'm now responsible for keeping this evil under control? The responsibility rested on Goku like a heavy mantle. The cosmic core of containment, that ancestral artifact, had chosen Goku as its carrier, and within it was Bahamut, the devourer of worlds. The gravity of the situation was reflected in the eyes of the Saiyan, who was already mentally preparing himself for a colossal task ahead.
What an honor, Kakarot. Seems you've become the guardian of evil.
The irony of Vegeta's voice did not go unnoticed. While his words might have been sarcastic, the determination in his eyes indicated that, despite any jokes, they were in this together.
But there's something else. The being inside the artifact is incredibly powerful.
The information left Goku and Vegeta silent. Bahamut, the name echoed in their minds like the distant echo of a coming storm. Consuming entire worlds was a threat they could not underestimate. Then we have an important task. We must keep Bahamut under control and, at the same time, figure out how to free ourselves from this burden. The pact was sealed. Together, Goku and Vegeta would take on the challenge of containing Bahamut and discovering a way to free themselves from the burden they now carried. The remaining question was how they would confront the dark entity that lay in Goku's chest. But before they could formulate a plan, a vibration in the air alerted them to the arrival of others.
It seems your friends are in trouble. Go help them.
Goku and Vegeta nodded in a gesture and understanding and, with serious expressions, headed for the door. With a mighty leap, they launched themselves into the sky, ready to join the battle raging on planet Earth. At the moment that Kaiosama gave the information to Goku and Vegeta, on Earth appeared another henchman of Bahamut who met with the duo of Tien Shinhan. This henchman of Bahamut seemed to be an expert in dark martial arts. He moved with supernatural agility, challenging the Z warriors with swift and lethal movements.
Do not underestimate the strength of humans. Kikoho!
Tien Shinhan launched his powerful Kikoho attack, creating an explosion of energy that enveloped Bahamut's henchmen.
This is no ordinary enemy. I must use my powers wisely.
Chaos unleashing his magic, creating illusions and distractions to confuse Bahamut's henchmen. The battle was unfolding on multiple levels, with the Z warriors fighting against this enemy who seemed to understand the combat arts in unexpected ways. At that moment, realizing that the power with which they were facing Bahamut's henchmen was not enough to stop him, thanks to Chaos's distraction, they took the opportunity to try to escape. But they did not count on the great speed of their rival who, realizing that they wanted to escape, caught up with them, disappearing from the place where he was and appearing in front of them. At the precise moment in which he was about to eliminate Chaos and Tien Shinhan, two people appeared between them and their rival Goku and Vegeta. Goku and Vegeta, with their gazes fixed on Bahamut's henchmen, shared a silent understanding. The gravity of the situation was clear on their faces, but there was no room for doubt.
Tien Shinhan! Chaos! Go and warn the others about this threat. We need time to deal with this.
We don't want them to get hurt because of us. Go! We'll take care of this. Tien Shinhan and Chaos nodded, recognizing the determination in the Saiyans' voices. Wasting no time, they sped away, leaving Goku and Vegeta facing their formidable opponent. Bahamut's henchman, emanating overwhelming darkness, showed no signs of backing down. His eyes glowed with malice, aware of the battle ahead. The Z warriors were prepared to face any threat, and this would be no exception.
It's clear that this won't be easy.
That's what makes it exciting. Let's do it, Kakarot.
Goku and Vegeta charged at Bahamut's henchmen with impressive speed. At the moment when both warriors were fighting a battle that could change the fate of Earth, this being who presented himself as Bahamut's henchman, this dark entity with a humanoid shape but a bird's head, was going to be surprised by the abilities of the Saiyan warriors. In the middle of the combat, of all the show of strength between both warriors and this dark being, Takagami, with a confused face but confident that his strength was far superior to that of these earthly warriors, thought, "I'm amazed at the strength these earthly beings possess. I guess they deserve to know who'll kill them." Then at that moment he told them with a malevolent smile, he said, "I've been surprised by warriors. That's why they deserve to know my name. I'm Takagami, sacred god of darkness, follower of the supreme god Bahamut." Goku, very surprised of what he's hearing, said, "More gods? This sounds very dangerous and it's exciting."
Bug, shut up! The life of this planet's at risk, and you get excited about a being that's very powerful.
The speed of the combat accelerated as Goku and Vegeta pounced on Takagami. The energy in the air became dense, vibrating with the intensity of the impending confrontation. Takagami, with his dark aura, stood his ground, disdainfully watching the approaching Saiyans. "Do you think you have a chance against the power of darkness?" Goku and Vegeta continued their advance, wasting no time in unnecessary words. In the blink of an eye, they were in front of Takagami, unleashing a gale of blows. Takagami, with surprising agility, dodged many of the attacks, but some managed to land, demonstrating the strength of the Saiyans. "Don't underestimate the power of a Saiyan!"
Come on, God of Darkness. Show us what you can do.
Takagami responded to the challenge, unleashing his own fury. His speed and combat skills were amazing, deflecting the blows of Goku and Vegeta with subtle movements. The battle turned into a whirlwind of punches, kicks, and ki blasts, lighting up the sky with flashes of light and darkness.
They're just insects in front of the power of eternal darkness.
Goku in his base state and Vegeta, with their pride as the Saiyan Prince, continued to put pressure on Takagami. However, as the battle progressed, Takagami began to reveal more of his true power. His dark aura intensified and his form subtly changed, revealing a transformation that increased his power exponentially.
This can't be good.
Goku, always excited for a challenge, added, "Vegeta, get ready! This is getting interesting." Takagami's increased power created an overwhelming pressure on the battlefield. His speed increased dramatically, and his strength eclipsed that of the Saiyans. However, Goku and Vegeta were not intimidated. With determination, they raised their own power of levels, taking the battle to new heights. The fighting continued with swift attacks and explosions shaking the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta, now in more advanced forms, kept up the pace, challenging Takagami at every turn. However, despite his efforts, the sacred god of darkness proved to be a formidable adversary. "This is entertaining, but your resistance is useless. The darkness consumes everything." Goku and Vegeta, without giving up, exchanged determined glances. "Vegeta, it's time to go further!" "Huh, of course, Kakarot." As Chaos and Ten Shinhan rushed to warn the other Z warriors, the confrontation between Goku, Vegeta, and Takagami entered a new level of intensity. The struggle for the fate of the universe was in full swing. A cosmic battle was raging on planet Earth, where darkness and light collided in a frantic dance of energy. Goku and Vegeta, the brave Saiyans, were facing Takagami, the Falcon, sacred god of darkness. The intensity of the combat resonated in the universe, and every movement threatened to tear reality itself apart. Takagami, who had increased his power, floated in the air with an imposing presence and dark aura. His eyes glowed with malice as he watched the Saiyans, who stood firm, prepared to defend their fate of the planet. In response to their enemies' increased power, Goku and Vegeta channeled their ki to the maximum, raising their power to the Super Saiyan. "Vegeta, this guy's strong, but that only means that this fight'll be even better."
Huh, of course, Kakarot. This is our time to shine.
The planet Earth vibrated with the energy released by the three contenders. The distant stars seemed to pale before the magnitude of the conflict. The clouds were dissipated by such a demonstration of power. Takagami, with his increased speed, lunged at Goku with a darkness-laden punch. Goku, using his elasticity and quickness, dodged gracefully, leaving a trail of flashes around him by the speed at which Takagami was lashing out with his nigh-speed punches. Vegeta, with a burst of ki, stepped between Goku and Takagami, blocking an attack that would have been devastating his fellow Saiyan. The shockwave from the collision sent debris in all directions.
I expected nothing less from you, sacred god of darkness.
Takagami defiantly unleashed a series of dark blasts towards Goku and Vegeta. The Saiyans responded with perfect timing, countering each attack with precise strikes and energy waves. The scene looked like a combat symphony, where every movement was choreographed with divine precision. Goku, with a twinkle in his eye, concentrated his energy on his hands. A bluish sphere of energy began to form, growing in size and luminosity. Vegeta, observing the familiar technique, smiled as he recognized the power that Goku was summoning. A colossal energy wave fired by Goku shot through the sky like lightning, hitting Takagami squarely. However, the darkness was absorbing the energy, and the Falcon emerged unscathed, laughing disdainfully.
Is that all you have, Saiyan?
While Goku was recovering from the effort of his attack, Vegeta launched himself at Takagami with supersonic speed. His fist slammed into the Dark God, creating a shockwave that shook the air. However, Takagami responded with a burst of energy that sent Vegeta backwards.
Ah! Damn, this guy's stronger than I thought.
Goku, recovering, joined the battle again. Both Saiyans, aware that they were facing a formidable enemy, decided that it was time to take the fight to the next level.
Vegeta, how about we show what we can really do? Of course, Kakarot. Let's do it.
Goku and Vegeta began to accumulate energy around them. The atmosphere was charged with an intensity of their ki as they unleashed their advanced forms. Goku transformed into the Super Saiyan Blue, while Vegeta assumed his evolved form, the evolved Blue Super Saiyan. Are they taking each other seriously now? Goku and Vegeta, with their new forms, advanced towards Takagami with renewed determination. The speed and strength of the Saiyans were now incomparable. The impacts resounded like cosmic thunder, creating a symphony of destruction in the sky. The battle became even more intense. Goku and Vegeta, coordinating their movements, attacked Takagami with an impressive combination of techniques and melee attacks. The Falcon, despite its power, was overwhelmed by the ferocity of the Saiyans. Final flash! The bursts of energy, one blue and one golden, converged into a titanic explosion that engulfed Takagami. Light and darkness mixed in a burst of dazzling colors. However, when the explosion dissipated, Takagami emerged once more, his form slightly battered, but his determination intact. His power is awesome, but I'm a god. The darkness cannot be defeated so easily. Goku and Vegeta, without giving up, continued the offensive. The speed of his combat reached levels that defied comprehension. Punches and kicks were exchanged in a split second, creating a glow of cosmic collisions. Big Bang Attack! Kaio-ken 20 times! The energy exploded again, shaking the sky with its fury. However, Takagami, with his divine resistance, withstood the attacks. The battle raged across the cosmos, with the warriors disappearing and reappearing in flashes of light and shadow. In the middle of the struggle, Goku and Vegeta began to feel an overwhelming pressure. Takagami's darkness seemed to expand, defying even the limits of the most powerful Saiyans. Reality itself was twisting under the influence of dark energy. This darkness is incredibly strong. We can't back down now, Kakarot. We must get over this. Both Saiyans raised their powers even more. The fight reached a new peak of intensity. The Saiyan was exploding like fireworks in the vastness of the night sky, lighting up the darkness with flashes of determination and defiance. Takagami, at the epicenter of the storm, smiled ominously. Now you'll see the true power of eternal darkness. The universe trembled as the battle reached its climax. The warriors were fighting for the fate of everything they knew, and the question that lingered in space was whether the light of the Saiyans could overcome the darkness of the sacred god. The planet Earth rumbled with the intensity of the cosmic battle. Goku and Vegeta, drenched in sweat, maintained their advanced forms as they prepared for Takagami's next assault. Darkness was emanating from his figure, but something seemed out of place. The Dark God's skin had a grayish hue, as if he had not yet completed the possession of its wearer. Takagami, with a guttural laugh, seemed to notice the perplexity in the Saiyans' expressions. Surprise, Saiyans! I've not yet revealed all my power. Goku and Vegeta exchanged puzzled looks. Something was not right, and both warriors felt it. At that moment, Takagami convulsed. A new form shook, as if he was fighting against something. An invisible force seemed to pull at him from within. No! I haven't taken complete control yet! Suddenly, a burst of dark energy enveloped Takagami, hiding him from view. The Saiyans were on guard, prepared for any surprise. Their energy in the air became denser, as if the cosmos itself was on the verge of transformation. What's going on? Before they could form any more questions, the dark energy dispersed, revealing Takagami's true form. However, what they saw took their breath away. At the moment of arriving at his true form, he let himself see the body he was possessing. This body was Yamcha's. Once the warriors saw that, Takagami completed his bird-headed humanoid form. But now the true form of the sacred god of destruction was clearly revealed. The falcon's head was clearly shown, with a defined musculature but a thin body, wearing blue Egyptian clothes with gold bracelets and a gold necklace. Huge wings which disappeared and appeared at their whim. Now Takagami had something going for him. He was playing against the Saiyan warriors. Not only should he defeat them, but they should also avoid harming Yamcha. That's what Yamcha looks like! Takagami's rumbling laughter filled the space. Now completely in possession of Yamcha's body, the Dark God was displaying a malevolent smile. That's right, Saiyans. This weak body belongs to me now. Vegeta gritted his teeth furiously. Damn it! How dare you possess one of us? It's not just one, Saiyan. Soon all of you will become Bahamut puppets. The reality of the situation hit Goku and Vegeta, but the force of the cosmic impact, the dark entity they were facing was not only a dark god, but also had the power of possessing earthling warriors. Yamcha, now inside the sacred god of darkness, did not have any sign of consciousness. The god had taken control of his being completely. Ha 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 ha! There's no escape. Bahamut will be released, and this universe will fall into eternal darkness. Goku and Vegeta shared a determined look. They knew the threat was even greater now. Not only were they fighting a dark god, they were also faced the possibility of losing their friends and allies in this fight. Vegeta, We have to find a way to free Yamcha and stop Takagami. Of course, Kakarot. But first, we have to deal with his Dark God. The battle continued, but now the situation was more desperate. Takagami, with Yamcha's body, unleashed an unstoppable fury. The Saiyans struggled not only against eternal darkness, but also against the weight of facing one of their own companions. Explosions of energy lit up the sky, but the inner struggle of Goku and Vegeta was equally intense. Every blow, every burst of ki resonated with the promise of freeing Yamcha and saving the universe from the threat of Bahamut. But Takagami wasn't going to give up so easily. Do you think you could beat one of the World Eater's henchmen? The dark energy intensified in the ultimate form of the sacred god of darkness. Now, the freedom to be able to use all his power launched relentless attacks. Goku and Vegeta, with their advanced forms, were fighting with all their might, but the darkness had a firm grip. The struggle dragged on. Every moment seemed like an eternity. Yamcha, although he was just a contender for Takagami, at one point during the fight showed signs of pain on his face. It was as if his very essence was fighting against the darkness that was consuming her. Yamcha, hold on! Let's get you out of this!
But Goku's words were lost in the storm. Takagami, with a maniacal laugh, continued his assault. The Earth, witness of this cosmic conflict, trembled before the magnitude of the confrontation between light and darkness. Somewhere far away, Chaos and Tien Shinhan, after alerting the other Z warriors about the threat, returned to the battlefield. Seeing the situation, Tien Shinhan's face filled with fury as Chaos clenched his fist determinedly.
Takagami, I'll make sure you pay for this!
Both warriors joined the fight, but even with their abilities, facing a dark god who possessed one of his own would not be so easy. The battle turned into a desperate struggle to face Yamcha and stop Bahamut before he was released. During the chaos, Goku and Vegeta shared a look of determination. The darkness could be powerful, but the light of the Saiyans would shine even in the darkest moments. The battle for the fate of the universe was far from over, and Earth's heroes were ready to face any challenges that stood in their way. Taking a trip to the past, one day before the strange artifact was impregnated into Goku's chest, after rescuing his son Goten, Yamcha, oblivious to the imminent danger that was coming, was exploring an ancient Egyptian pyramid during an archaeological expedition. The atmosphere was charged with mystery and the promise of amazing discoveries. Deep inside the pyramid, Yamcha stumbled upon an ancient artifact that was glowing with a dim light. It was an Egyptian bracelet decorated with intricate hieroglyphs. Fascinated by her beauty and attracted by an inexplicable force, Yamcha could not resist and placed the bracelet on his wrist. The moment the bracelet touched his skin, a strange sensation enveloped Yamcha. It was not painful or threatening, but rather captivating. An ancestral connection was established between the earthly warrior and the Egyptian artifact. What Yamcha didn't know was that this artifact contained an ancient power linked to the age of gods and legends. As the light from the bracelet merged with Yamcha, an ancient presence awoke. It was the essence of an ancient god that was lying asleep inside the artifact. However, this being was neither malevolent nor benevolent. It was simply an ancestral force seeking to join a mortal existence, or at least that was what Yamcha felt at that moment. The god, by merging with Yamcha, granted him abilities and knowledge beyond his comprehension. Yamcha felt with a strength and connection to the story itself. The fusion, although puzzling at first, resulted in a unique symbiosis between the earthly warrior and the divine entity. Yamcha didn't know what the bracelet actually was. Returning to the battle, every moment became more challenging for Goku and Vegeta and the earthly warriors. Takagami, now completely liberated, unleashed a destructive force that tested even the most powerful Saiyans. In an effort to turn the tide of the battle, Tien Shinhan and Chaos joined the fight. Both warriors, aware of the threat possessed by Takagami, threw themselves into the fray bravely. His unique skills and determination added a new dynamic to the conflict, but even with his intervention, the darkness persisted.
Tien Shinhan, keep the pressure on. We cannot allow this darkness to take over our world.
Tien Shinhan nodded, concentrating his energy on coordinated attacks with Goku and Vegeta. Despite their combined efforts, Takagami remained a relentless adversary. As the battle reached its peak, Goku and Vegeta, exhausted but without losing their determination, shared a look of mutual understanding. They knew they needed an extra power to face Takagami at his finest. Instantly, an idea crossed their minds of the Saiyan's fusion.
Vegeta, I know it's not something you prefer, but I think it's our only option.
I don't like to admit it, Kakarot, but I agree with you. If we want to stop this monster, we need all the power we can get.
Both warriors assume the necessary postures to perform the fusion dance. The energy of Goku and Vegeta intertwined in a brilliant flash, and within seconds, an entirely new warrior emerged. Gogeta in his base form, the supremely powerful fusion of the two Saiyans.
It seems the occasion requires it. Now, Takagami, get ready. So you think a ridiculous fusion will be able to stand up to my power?
Gogeta rushed towards Takagami with amazing speed. The matchup that followed was an unmatched display of skills. Gogeta dodged Takagami's attacks with grace, fighting back with overwhelming force. However, the darkness that enveloped the Dark God proved to be a formidable challenge. During the intense battle, Tien Shinhan and Chaos continued to bravely fight, but the price of a confrontation was already becoming apparent. Takagami, taking advantage of the distraction, launched a devastating attack that left Tien Shinhan and Chaos seriously injured. Goku and Vegeta, seeing their companions in danger, felt a surge of rage. Gogeta redoubled his efforts, attacking with renewed ferocity. However, Takagami, aware of the situation, diverted his attention to Tien Shinhan and Chaos.
Feeling the despair, Saiyans? Soon this world will witness its end.
Goku and Vegeta, full of rage and determination, increased their speed. They knew they needed to do something before Takagami carried out his threats. The battle reached its climax when Gogeta launched a massive attack on Takagami, seeking to break his resistance. However, the darkness surrounding Takagami intensified, revealing a surprise resistance. It was then that Tien Shinhan and Chaos, still on the ground, exchanged a determined look. They knew that whatever they had to do to give Gogeta a chance to defeat Takagami.
Goku, Vegeta, you need time. I'll take care of holding this monster. I'll come with you, Tien Shinhan. Together we'll be the barrier they need.
Goku and Vegeta, although reluctant to lose their friends, went at full speed to avoid what they had in mind.
Don't do it, Tien Shinhan, Chaos.
Tien Shinhan and Chaos stood up, ignoring the pain coursing through their bodies. With determination, they faced Takagami, resisting his attacks with all their might. Gogeta, seeing the situation, understood the magnitude of the sacrifice they were making.
We cannot disappoint this sacrifice. We have to win this.
While Tien Shinhan and Chaos bravely fought Takagami, Gogeta continued his assault with the intensity intact. The battle was taking place on two fronts, with the Earth Warriors sacrificing themselves to provide the necessary opening. Goku and Vegeta, as he approached, their hearts were filled with sorrow and gratitude towards Tien Shinhan and Chaos. Gogeta, with supersonic speed, approached the scene where Tien Shinhan and Chaos were bravely facing Takagami. His gaze reflected the mixture of determination and regret, knowing that the sacrifices of his teammates were the key to victory.
Hold on a little longer, guys. Let's put an end to this.
The Saiyan fusion advanced towards Takagami, who, upon seeing Gogeta's arrival, stopped attacking Tien Shinhan and Chaos to confront the fused warrior. The intensity of the battle reached a new level, with attacks and counterattacks echoing across the battlefield. Tien Shinhan, with his remaining strength, took advantage of that distraction to hold Takagami with all his strength, preventing him from moving freely. His face showed determination and resignation at the same time.
Chaos, this is your chance. Make every second I hold this monster worth it.
Chaos, next to Tien Shinhan, nodded weakly. His body showed the ravages of the battle, but his eyes were shining with all the will to do the duty.
Tien Shinhan is right, Gogeta. The light will always prevail over the darkness. Remember that. Goku, Vegeta, take care of our world. This is our last act.
At that moment, Chaos accumulated an immense amount of energy to sacrifice himself. Gogeta, who was very close, were hit by the shock wave of the explosion. Gogeta, recovering from the impact, looked at the place where his companions were with solemnly.
Your sacrifice will not be in vain. I promise.
After what happened, Gogeta raised his head and with an uncontrollable anger increased his ki in such a way that he made the battlefield rumble, making the stones that were in the place fly, making Takagami retreat only with the gusts of air that expanded from his being. In a panning from head to toe, we managed to see Gogeta's transformation in Super Saiyan Blue Phase 4, which showed the essence of Ozaru as a kind of aura in blue color, and a more controlled but much more powerful version, a transformation never seen, since they were not able to coordinate their powers to be able to reach said transformation.
as Gogeta's energy transformed into a surprising and controlled version of Super Saiyan Blue Stage 4, a brilliant blue essence of Ozaru manifested around him, revealing unparalleled potency. The cosmic landscape trembled before the magnitude of this new form. Goku and Vegeta, witness of this unique transformation, were filled with amazement and determination. It was evident that Gogeta was reaching a level of power never seen before, fusing the essence of Super Saiyan Blue with Ozaru's formidable presence flawlessly. Gogeta, in his new form, turned an intense gaze towards Takagami, whose expression of confidence was overshadowed by surprise. The battle, far from having come to an end, was just beginning in this new phase. The universe was waiting for the outcome of this epic confrontation, where light and darkness collided in a cosmic dance. The promise of a new dawn loomed on the horizon, but the price of triumph was uncertain. Gogeta floated in the sky, surrounded by the imposing energy of his new form. The stars seemed to pale before the intensity of his blue radiance, as Takagami recovered from the initial impact and adopted a defensive posture.
What kind of transformation is this? This is the power of those who fight for something greater than themselves.
With a flash, Gogeta disappeared, appearing in front of Takagami in the blink of an eye. The clash of their fists created shockwaves that shook the battlefield. Gogeta's speed and strength were unmatched, surpassing even Takagami's ability to anticipate his blows. Gogeta and Takagami exchanged blows and energy blasts at breakneck speed. Each impact resounded like cosmic thunder, creating an epic symphony on planet Earth.
Your attempt to revive your so-called gods ends here, Takagami.
But you're a bug in the face of the greatness of my power. In an instant, Gogeta unleashed a burst of concentrated energy, enveloping Takagami in a whirlwind of light and force. When the light dissipated, Takagami emerged unharmed, but with a more serious expression.
Interesting, but not enough.
The battle was reaching cosmic levels, with ripples of energy spreading across the far reaches of the universe. Meanwhile, the other Z warriors watched the sky, appreciating Gogeta's great power of display and Takagami's resilience and viciousness. The roar of battle echoed in every corner of the universe. Gogeta and Takagami, wrapped in an endless dance of energy, continued their titanic confrontation. Space twisted and trembled under the influence of their powers, creating distortions itself. Bursts of energy expanded like lightning, illuminating the darkness of the night sky with dazzling flashes. Each blow between the two contenders seemed to release an explosion of energy that spread in concentric waves, setting the frantic pace of the cosmic battle. Away from the battlefield, the others watched in anguish and admiration. Bulma, with a mixture of fear and hope in her eyes, clung to the hope that Gogeta would prevail.
Come on, Gogeta, you must win! For all of us!
Meanwhile, on the battlefield, Gogeta and Takagami continued their fierce exchange. Determination burned in Gogeta's eyes, while Takagami maintained a defiant smile, though his expression hid a growing unease.
This is for the price you pay for defying the peace of the universe.
With a swift movement, Gogeta vanished and reappeared behind Takagami, launching an energy-charged punch straight at his back. But Takagami, anticipating, quickly spun around and blocked the attack with the dark energy shield.
Is that all you got?
In response, Gogeta intensified his assault, unleashing a continuous flurry of punches and kicks. Each impact resounded like thunder. But Takagami, though outmatched in speed, resisted with his dark power, countering the attacks with deft movements. During the scuttle, Takagami took advantage of the prevalent moment of openness and opened up a launched energy bolt straight for Gogeta's chest. The resulting explosion shook the universe and Gogeta was thrown backwards, leaving a trail of blue energy.
Is that all hope can do?
Gogeta recovered quickly, stood up with determination. The glow of his transformation increased even more.
This is far from over.
The battle continued, leading them again to display an ever-increasing amount of power. In this fury, Gogeta unleashed power that defied the laws of the universe, and Takagami, despite his arrogance, began to show signs of concern. The tension was palpable. The Z warriors felt the intensity of the confrontation, even when they were a long distance away from where the battle for the future of the planet was taking place. Piccolo was seriously watching, calculating every move and thinking at some point this battle, which was far from over, would be a favorable outcome. Piccolo, in his thoughts,
Goku, Vegeta, we trust you.
You must win this battle.
The battle reached a new climax when Gogeta and Takagami met at an eminent point in the battle. The energy emanated from them, illuminating the vastness of the dark sky, creating a dazzling spectacle of colors and flashes.
You cannot escape darkness. Darkness will never prevail over light. You're a fool if you think your light can eclipse my power.
Suddenly, a voice echoed in Gogeta's mind, a familiar but distant voice.
Gogeta, do not underestimate your enemy. Truth lies within strength.
The transmission abruptly cut off, leaving Gogeta bewildered. Before he could reflect on it, however, Takagami lunged towards him with surprising speed, unleashing a series of punches and kicks that left Gogeta struggling to keep up. At that moment, a fleeting image flashed through Gogeta's mind, a vision of his loved ones, of his purpose, and the responsibility he carried on his shoulders. The energy of the transformation fanned, and Gogeta, with newfound determination, struck back with renewed ferocity.
This is the limit of your tyranny, Takagami. The limit's up to you, Gogeta, and your limit is my power.
Suddenly, the sky around him fragmented, and multiple distorted versions of Takagami emerged from the dimensional rifts, each with a malevolent grin.
You cannot defeat me, Gogeta. I am eternal. I'm a god. You may be powerful, but I'm not alone in this.
The battle reached a new intensity as multiple distorted incarnations of Takagami surrounded Gogeta. Each emanated a dark energy that defied the laws of the universe. The air itself seemed to vibrate with the pressure of their combined presences. At that precise moment, Goku and Vegeta's fusion had come to an end due to the amount of power they had used in order to stand up to Takagami. Goku and Vegeta, although they had returned to their individual forms after the fusion, knew that the key by defeating Takagami lay in perfect unity and coordination.
Vegeta, we're in this together. Let's give all our power to be able to confront him so we can free Yamcha from this so-called god. Yes, Kakarot, this insect will not defeat us.
The Z Warriors watched in amazement, aware that the fate of the universe hung in the balance. Piccolo analyzed the situation, looking for any weaknesses that could be exploited. The others prepared to act if the opportunity presented itself. Goku and Vegeta, now separated, their fusion as Gogeta, faced Takagami with determination in their eyes. The dark presence of the supposed god loomed over them, but the Saiyans were determined to free Yamcha and put an end to the threat he posed.
Vegeta, we need to coordinate our attacks. We've always been stronger when we fight together. For once, I agree with you, Kakarot. This insect will pay for what he did.
The two Saiyans lunged towards Takagami, attacking with a combination of punches and ki blasts. Takagami, though powerful, was momentarily overwhelmed by the timing of the two warriors. However, his sinister laugh echoed across the battlefield.
Your union will change nothing. My power is unlimited.
Goku and Vegeta exchanged glances, realizing that the situation was more serious than they had imagined. Takagami unleashed a wave of dark energy that sent them flying, but they quickly recovered, ready to continue the fight. The Z Warriors watched with concern. Gohan, though a bit intimidated by Takagami's power, maintained his unwavering determination. Piccolo, with his keen intelligence, pointed out a possible weakness.
It seems his power is linked to some source. We must find a way to break that connection.
Goten and Trunks, who had arrived along with Gohan, eager to join the battle, looked at their parents with concern. However, Piccolo stopped them.
Guys, we need a plan before we launch into battle. Your strength will be crucial at the right time.
While the Z Warriors thought of a plan, Goku and Vegeta continued their fierce assault against Takagami. Every time it seemed they were about to defeat him, his power increased and the evil emanating from him intensified.
Ha 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 ha! Your resistance is useless. My power thrives on despair and suffering. Then we must find a way to change that. Vegeta, we need to attack together, but with a strategy. You're finally thinking clearly, Kakarot. Let's do it!
The two Saiyans, coordinating their movements, executed a series of synchronized attacks. Although Takagami was defending himself skillfully, he began to show signs of discomfort. The connection between his power and the external source seemed to be faltering. At that instant, Piccolo noticed the opportunity.
Now is the time. Gohan, wait for the opening we'll give you so you can attack. Goten, Trunks, follow me on my signal.
Gohan nodded, conveying a look of confidence to his friends.
Goten and Trunks prepared to act on Piccolo's directions. Everyone, let's send our energies to Goku and Vegeta. We must strengthen their connection and weaken Takagami's source of power. The Z Warriors gathered their energies and, with a coordinated effort, sent a stream of ki skyward. Goku and Vegeta, sensing the surge of power, seized the opportunity. They're doing it! Come on, Vegeta! The connection between Goku, Vegeta, and the Z Warriors created a unique synergy. Energy flowed through them, strengthening their resolve and weakening Takagami's external source of power.
This can't be happening!
The darkness surrounding Takagami began to dissipate, due to the large amount of energy they were receiving from their friends. Piccolo, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks, observing the battle, noticed the opportunity to intervene.
Now, guys, let's go!
Goten and Trunks took flight into the sky where Goku and Vegeta were, joining the fight against Takagami. With the energy of the Z Warriors strengthening the connection between Goku and Vegeta, the real battle was about to begin. The fusion of powers of the Saiyans between father and son created an explosion of energy that enveloped Takagami. The fight intensified, but now, with hope and determination as their allies, Goku, Vegeta, Goten, and Trunks were ready to face the Dark God and free the universe from his evil domain. The burst of energy that enveloped Takagami reverberated throughout the universe. The fusion of the powers of Goku, Vegeta, and his sons created a symphony of forces, illuminating the sky with a brilliant radiance that defied the darkness Takagami had tried to impose. Takagami, enveloped in the luminescence of the combined energy, struggled to maintain his composure. The connection between his power and the source of his power, Yamcha, was weakening with every second, and his sinister laugh began to turn into growls of frustration.
We're making progress, Vegeta!
Yes, but let's not let our guard down. It's not over.
As the Saiyans continued their coordinated offensive, Goten and Trunks and their Super Saiyan forms joined the battle. The pressure on Takagami intensified, as he now faced not only the two adult Saiyans, but also that of his sons. The coordination between them was impressive, and every move was backed by the combined strength of the Z Warriors.
Dad! Vegeta! We're here to help! Let's show this guy that the Saiyan family is unstoppable!
The trio of Saiyans, with their different levels of expertise and abilities, formed a united front against Takagami. The battle was getting more and more intense, with bursts of energy and flurries of attacks lighting up space like a celestial spectacle. Piccolo, Gohan, Krillin, and the others channeled their energies to strengthen the connection between the Saiyans and, at the same time, searched for weaknesses in Takagami's defense.
We must keep the pressure on and look for any opportunity to unbalance Takagami.
Dad! Vegeta! Goten! Trunks! We all trust you! Let's defeat this enemy together!
In space, the synergy between the Saiyans reached its peak. Goku and Vegeta, with the energy of their sons and the Z Warriors, fused their attacks in an amazing display of power. Takagami, despite his resistance, began to give ground.
This is not possible! I'm a god! I cannot be defeated!
The connection between his power and the external source was on the verge of collapse. The Saiyans, sensing Takagami's weakness, redoubled their efforts. Goten, Trunks, guided by Piccolo's strategy, attacked from unexpected angles, while Goku and Vegeta continued their frontal assault. Piccolo noticed a key opportunity.
Now, Gohan, it's your time!
Gohan, in his final form ready to take advantage of the opportunity, concentrated his energy and launched himself into the confrontation. With surprising speed, he joined the fight alongside Goku, Vegeta, Goten, and Trunks.
Let's finish this, Dad!
The symphony of energy between the Z Warriors and the Saiyans reached its climax. Takagami, beset on all sides, struggled to stand, and the skies erupted in an explosion of light and darkness as the heroes joined forces to confront the Dark God. The battle reached its climax, and every move decided the fate of the universe. The Z Warriors from Earth watched with eagerness and hope, knowing that victory was within reach, but also aware that the final fight was yet to come. With the Saiyans and the Z Warriors facing Takagami in a cosmic confrontation. However, amidst the chaos of battle, a small distraction allowed Takagami to strike back with furiosity. Goten and Trunks, focused on following Piccolo's strategy, attacked from different angles. However, in a moment of minimal distraction, Takagami seized the opportunity and launched a surprise counterattack. With quick and precise movements, the Dark God managed to evade Goten and Trunks' attacks, countering them with punches and energy blasts.
Ha ha ha! Your efforts are useless, children! I'm the all-consuming darkness!
Goten and Trunks, though agile and powerful, found themselves in a precarious situation. Takagami, with his speed and cunning, left the young Saiyans struggling to keep up.
We have to protect them!
Takagami's concentration of power is increasing. We need to regroup and find a strategy to counter his moves. Meanwhile, in the sky, Goten and Trunks, despite the setbacks, continue to fight bravely. They tried to coordinate their attacks, but Takagami's speed and cunning proved to be a formidable challenge.
Trunks, we have to stay focused!
I know, but this guy's stronger than I imagined. In an unexpected twist, Takagami launched a blast of dark energy that hit Goten and Trunks, leaving them badly injured. Both Saiyans fell backwards with obvious signs of exhaustion and pain.
Goten! Trunks!
This damned dark god!
The adult Saiyans intensified their assault, determined to avenge their momentary fall of their sons. Takagami, however, taking advantage of the confusion and despair that gripped the Z warriors, rejoiced in his newly strengthened power.
This is how the heroes of the universe give up. They may fight, but in the end, darkness will always prevail.
The result was becoming even more tense. The Z warriors, though determined, were facing the reality that their fight was far from over. Goten and Trunks, wounded but not defeated, were struggling to recover and rejoin the battle.
We need a new approach. Takagami's strength increases with each passing moment.
We'll protect Goten and Trunks. We'll not let the darkness prevail.
The battle, now more critical than ever, was plunging into a desperate confrontation where the survival of the universe hung in the balance. Gohan, observing the critical situation of his brother Goten and Trunks, could not contain the fury that burned within him. A flash of anger crossed his eyes, and his energy rose to levels that would leave even the most experienced Saiyans dumbfounded. He lunged towards Takagami with shocking speed, ignoring any concern for his own safety.
With this price, you'll pay for hurting my family!
His speed and furiosity impressed everyone on the battlefield. Every blow he delivered carried with it a pent-up rage of a protective brother. Takagami, though initially surprised, adapted to the intensity of Gohan's attacks.
Do you think your anger can stop me?
I'm going to protect my family and the entire universe from your darkness!
The battle between Gohan and Takagami unleashed an energy storm in space. Goku and Vegeta watched in awe and fear as the conflict reached levels that defied comprehension. Despite their determination, they realized they were facing a power beyond anything they had faced before.
This kid, his power is amazing!
We can't let Gohan fight alone. We must support him.
As Gohan continued his relentless assault, Takagami showed a significant improvement in his defensive ability. Every blow was met with inhuman prowess. The battle reached a point where the universe itself seemed to be on the verge of collapse. The epic confrontation between Gohan and Takagami pushed the Saiyan warrior to the limit of his abilities. Despite Gohan's bravery and skill, the Dark God, with unmatched cunning and speed, found an opening in his defense. With a graceful twist, Takagami unleashed a ripping attack, a blast of dark energy that sliced through the air with a malevolent precision. Gohan, surprised by the speed and ferocity of the attack, barely had time to react. The energy wave hit Gohan full on, enveloping him in an explosion of light and darkness. The force of the impact threw Goku's eldest son backwards, causing him to stagger, desperately struggling to stay on his feet. The dark energy left its mark on Gohan's body, marking him with deep, tearing wounds.
Ah! This can't be so strong!
Takagami, with a sinister smile, hovered in the air, observing the result of his devastating attack. The black energy around him seemed to vibrate with satisfaction as Gohan tried to recover.
This is the power you praise so much? You're no match for me, Gohan.
Goku and Vegeta, witnessing the scene from a distance, gritted their teeth helplessly. The situation was becoming more critical with each passing moment. Goten and Trunks, still injured but recovering, were prepared to rejoin the fight.
Gohan! This damned, we can't let this continue.
Goten and Trunks, sensing the urgency of the situation, approached Gohan to help him. Despite his own injuries, determination shone in his eyes.
Brother, are you alright? Yes, but we need a new approach.
We're not going to let this guy get away with this! Meanwhile, Piccolo and the other Z Warriors were also assessing the situation, looking for any opportunity to change the course of the battle. The pressure on them was mounting, and the need to find an effective strategy was becoming more apparent. We have to work together. Gohan, can you keep fighting? Gohan nodded, ignoring the pain coursing through his body. His determination had not dulled, on the contrary. Takagami's imminent threat stoked it.
I can't give up, but we need a strategy. Something that could surprise him.
Surprise him, you say? As the Z Warriors immersed themselves in strategy to counter Takagami, a small distraction took over the battlefield. Goten and Trunks, aware of the need of a different approach, exchanged determined glances. Without saying a word, they assumed the familiar fusion dance stance. The other warriors, immersed in their tactics, barely noticed the sudden disappearance of Goten and Trunks as they performed the fusion. The energy around them condensed into a brilliant flash that revealed Gotenks, Super Saiyan, the powerful fusion of the two young Saiyans. Ready to give this guy a surprise!
With impressive speed, Gotenks launched himself towards Takagami, who was momentarily startled by the new presence on the battlefield. Gotenks, with his characteristic air of self-sufficiency, began to unleash a series of swift and agile attacks, challenging the Dark God with renewed energy.
Here I come!
Takagami, however, far from being intimidated, smiled sinisterly. With a casual gesture, he deflected Gotenks' attacks as if toying with him.
Is that all you've got, you little fused insect?
Gotenks persisted, intensifying his attacks, trying to find an opening in Takagami's defense. However, the Dark God, with a graceful move, countered each blow with ease.
Come on! It can't be!
In the moment of distraction, Takagami took advantage of the situation. With impressive speed, he launched a blast of dark energy that enveloped Gotenks before he could react. The resulting explosion threw Gotenks backwards, knocking him to the ground unconscious and disfigured. Gotenks!
This is worse than we thought.
Takagami, now more confident of his superiority, hovered in the air, glaring at the defeated warriors. Goten and Trunks, still unconscious, lay on the ground as Takagami revealed in his moment of victory.
Ha 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 ha! Is this all you offer, Z Warriors? Your desperation only increases my power.
With the outlook darkened by Gotenks' momentary defeat, attention turned to Gohan, who, badly wounded but driven by an inner strength, began to radiate intense energy. The pain in his body seemed to fuel his determination, and a wild golden glow enveloped as his ki reached never-before-seen levels. In the blink of an eye, Gohan transformed into Super Saiyan Phase 3, a form of awesome power that surprised even Takagami. Gohan's hair grew out of control, his muscles swelled, and his expression reflected a mixture of pain and fierce determination.
What is this? A new trick?
Gohan, with a wild roar, launched himself towards Takagami with shocking speed. The force of his blows and the intensity of his attacks shook the battlefield, creating a storm of energy around him. The conflict between light and darkness took on a new dimension as Gohan challenged the limits of his own power.
You're going to pay for what you've done!
Well guys, this is all for today's chapter. I hope you liked it and it was to your liking. Now don't forget to leave your powerful like Supreme God level, comment and subscribe. Now without further ado, see you in a new video. Until next time.